All right. So the group of you were a little bit busy last session. You went back and investigated Nathaniel Everstone's home, and you went back down into his subterranean workshop where the Veinstone was, and found a lot of his research notes spread across a couple of tables, and then mechanism of some kind, a gargoyle, a stone statue of a man holding a big stone basin, came to action and attacked you guys, along with a series of mud nephits, these small elemental creatures which threatened to trap you guys there as the floor started to fall out underneath you once mechanisms were starting to be activated to destroy and perhaps maim and kill all of you guys. But you escaped. You got the research notes. You escaped with all of your party intact. Um, and you have headed out, left, basically got up to the first floor of Nate's home in his living room area. It is still raining outside. It is coming into the dusk hours. So the dusk bells, same as there's dawn bells, there's dusk bells, which are slightly more minute. They've got a different noise to them, a different harmonic ring as the dusk bells start to go off across Rackmere. It's warm, it's that kind of humid heat in the evening with so much moisture in the air in the springtime of the southern region of Erith. And in the kind of shock, the mix of you guys covered in like patches of dried mud, so slick mud trailing it everywhere. Your clothes are covered. It's in your eyes. It's like up your gloves, it's up your sleeves, your clothing, in your boots. Escaping a floor as it fallen through and surviving that fight. What are you guys? What are you guys up to? I guess Torkel, most of all you. How do you feel about what just happened?
I'm confused. This is like a relatively, well, in circles that I work in, relatively normal man who wasn't necessarily thought of as being anything. I mean, being great at his job, but not particularly like hidden or discreet or anything like that. So yeah, he's a bit
Mm-hmm.
confused and upset that he put that everybody got into danger down there. And then and obviously intrigued to try and well, I picked up the papers from the
Yes.
desk, so I've got them, but I don't want to. I I want to exit here and leave, but I don't want to. Um, yeah, necessarily leave anything open that's dangerous or anything like that. So Torko's just taking a couple of minutes at the top of the passageway
Okay.
to catch his breath and
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. And Torek and Loranek, you guys were struggling a little bit to get away from those mud methods as the floor started to disappear. What are you guys? How are you guys feeling?
Oh, I had no issue leaving. Um,
Wow, thanks for rubbing that one in.
uh, yeah, I mean, you still have the mud on you, so yeah. Like Torek is like, oh yeah, that was heart pumping. That was fun. He's
Great,
excited.
great. Yeah, and you, Loranek.
I think Erith probably takes a minute to sort of collect himself again, and he will actually let out a sort of a bellow of a laugh, be like, sorry, Torkel. It seems I was mistaken. It seems your friend did leave something dangerous for us after all.
Um, Torko like obviously kind of knows it's a joke, but starts apologising. I'm so sorry. I did not expect it to be so dangerous down there. Is everybody okay?
It seems as though we all got out unharmed, and that was the most important thing. But it certainly makes things interesting. I cannot imagine what things led to him leaving a trap such as that.
I hope that it was a trap to ward people off and not something that has been placed there since his passing. It doesn't seem like something he would do.
Hmm. It. Sorry. How long ago was it that he actually passed? I'm afraid I do not know.
Just before the end of the Everstorm, so just before the new year.
That seems like it would be quite a lot of work to do in such a short amount of time. I imagine it was either there beforehand. The workshop was. I'm really sorry. I remember this. Lyranok found out last session he was like a couple of 100 years old.
Yeah, you surmised that it probably was used as like a bunker of some kind, a hidden shelter when Rakmir in its early history was getting
Yeah,
raided
but
a
it was
lot
a
more
lot
from
more
the east.
dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that workshop itself seemed to be several centuries old. It was possibly there for quite some time, rather than perhaps it was not even him who placed it there, merely activated after such an unfortunate amount of time.
Do I know how long I think Nathaniel stayed in Ragmere?
yes, yeah. So like he's had his home in Rakmir for some 50 years. This house, he's had a home there. Whether or not this explicit house, but that's just Fred or pulling hairs really. But yeah, he's had a home here for a long time in Rakmir. Um, yeah.
But not as long as that.
No, not as long as that underground lair would have
50
would have
years,
been around.
50 years being a long time, but not centuries.
No, he hasn't lived there for centuries. He's been traveling. He's lived in the capital for a long time in his prime lecturing days, and stuff. Yeah, I think that you would know that when he moved to Rakmir is when he like first became married.
Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
give or take between 40, 50 years, something like that.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know that Torkel thinks anything about the age of the basement, because that's something I think that Loranic discovered.
Yeah, I mean that's something he discovered, but like, yeah, I mean you can confide that and tell him that
Yeah.
out of
Well,
character and stuff.
I assume that's something we'll discuss it like once we're like in a
Yeah,
somewhere a bit
yeah.
safer.
yeah. So
I think Taco's going to start looking around the bottom floor just to see if there are any other sheets of paper or scraps of paper that might have been missed. Before he goes to round the corner, he says, "Gentlemen, if we could be quick, let us do one last look around the top, and then we will exit. I have the key. I will lock the door. And hopefully, nothing comes from the what I assume is now a large pit below."
all right, why don't we do a group perception check and everybody roll perception to see if they can spot things around the first floor, and I say some of you guys go up to the ground floor and some of you guys go up to the first floors where it's just a simple bedroom and a wardrobe. It's nothing.
I got
Not important to
investigation as a skill. Can I use investigation?
Sorry.
Oh,
If you-
that
if-
should not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, it wasn't me. Okay, thought I rolled
Yeah,
an
that should be
advantage.
14.
If you want to not help your group in the skill check, sure you can do your own check. I'll roll Orly's 17. Okay. So Torkel, Loranic, and Orly and Thoric, you're gonna roll perception 17. You guys find basically the remnants of an older man living at home, same laid out clothes, same, cooking utensils, hair care items, light scraps of food prepared, all these things, the signs of someone just living in this house. For you, our this decipherer, Hendrik, you don't find anything else past what the other party members have found as well. You feel like what you have found in the basement below, in the lair below, was the important documents. Everything else you find is just the signs of someone living in this home, and then being probably cleaned, put away, and then organized to how they best were laid by the Church of Vela when they took over preparing the property basically to pass on to Torkel after Nathaniel died. So yeah, and for you, Hendrik, how do you feel about all this situation now that you've cracked the code, and you know yourself that like you've got an understanding of it, so you could explain to your allies how it worked if you wanted to, or you could keep that information to yourself.
No, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking around and they're trying to discover clues, and I'm just standing there really confused. why their friend had a self-disassembling basement.
Yeah.
But I got the information I have, which is the
Mhm.
paperwork and notebooks and all that, and
Yeah, you've got a lot more stuff to
I'm
decipher. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that amount of knowledge and like awareness of what's going on because I don't have any fucking idea outside of that.
All right. Okay. So with this kind of collection of, the next 20 or so minutes, you guys scan the house and you don't find anything else of note. Do you guys want to head back to your Bed of Roses tap house?
Yeah. Well, that's
Is
where
there
Torquil
somewhere we can go and clear off the mud?
Yeah, there's a well, half a couple blocks down that you could go to and clean some of the stuff off your capes and your boots and gloves if you wanted.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that then. Let's not track mud into the inn. Okay, that's just rude.
Okay.
All right. As you guys head down to the well and start cleaning your things, the rain slightly starts to subside, and over the course of you guys cleaning your capes and then making your way clean now to the Bed of Roses tap house, the creeping silver lines of light from a full moon start to peek through, and through the mist and the fog hanging above the tallest buildings within Rackmere, there's kind of this like lovely kind of shivery um, reflection of puddles of water as the moon's image, the perfect moon's image, is cast on the wet, slick floors of Rackmere's cobbled streets before you. You can smell that moisture in there, and it's quite nice since the new year started, since the Everstorm has been in its full thrust, and then it's suddenly officially ended, but it still had its grips on the world. It's now not heavily raining for the first time in a long time, in a good couple of weeks for you guys, which is a welcome reprieve to your clothing, to your state of mind, and just to everybody around you guys. But it's later in the evening. It's probably getting on for around getting close towards 9 p.m. now, and the sun is definitely starting to fully set. So there's lights getting lit around, candle lights, lanterns are getting lit, um, and stuff by Nedlin and Brashfields as they do their patrols. So as you head to the Bed of Roses Snap House, it's quite a lively inn at this part. As we said, it is the day of family, so there is some people here around there having a meal with their family in the eatery section of the common room. There's a few more travelers in there than what were here before the festival, and stuff. But it's starting to be that kind of more steadily brightening up as the night goes on. And yeah, what do you guys do once you're back there?
You have like private individual rooms,
You do, yes.
shared rooms. Yeah.
You have private rooms.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna retire. Well, I'm gonna invite the group to retire to whoever has the larger or a room that is capable of fitting.
I would say
Both.
Loranic probably has the largest room.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Loranic, there's space for what would be two beds in this room rather than everyone else's single, and a heavy desk in the corner with a small trunk at the bunk of one of the beds, the headboards of one of the beds. So yeah, that's the largest room. You light the candles, you invite your friends
yeah.
in.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I was doing something else. Nothing. Yeah, I'll invite everyone in. And sort of we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I have some questions for all of you. The person whose basement we were in, whose papers we have now, who is he specifically to all of you?
I cannot claim to have even known the man. I was only there. I was attending his funeral as a matter of respect, but other than the fact knowing he was a lecturer at the Hawthorne Academy, I know nothing about him.
I
He was
just
a
carried the book.
I knew him well. He was a tutor and eventually a colleague.
Oh, he was your
studied at.
teacher.
He was one of many teachers and someone that I worked alongside as well.
Was he the level of, I don't mean to be dismissive, paranoid or cautious to set up that trap in his basement or work area, his study?
Um, I'll let Cameron correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't necessarily know that that's something that Torkel would really like. He would assume not because he was quite open with his work and stuff like that to Torkel, but I
Yeah.
don't, so
I
maybe
mean, there's
Well,
there's an entire wing of architecture which is about trap design and like fortifications and all that stuff, and he was not in that purview at all. So,
when did you last know him? Then I mean, people do change over time. Even
I have
dwarves.
been in contact with him throughout his life, and I was given his estate and some of his pension as part of his will. So I would suggest that I know him very well, and that there was not a period of time where he significantly changed.
Well, that
Alas, I
is
also thought that he was normal, but apparently there is some odd things going on.
an abnormality.
Talk will take out
I
like all the papers and stuff that he collected from that desk.
yeah, I can work through these. It'll take all night. I can probably get through a good amount of it.
If you have
Um,
broken the cipher, are you able to write it down, the code?
it's not like a thing that can be communicated so easily. It's like
Is there not
teaching
a
math.
system for deciphering? Yes,
It's complicated. It's not as simple of a cipher as I can just explain it to you in a few minutes.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1 second, please. Let's get my coffee ready.
Are you choosing to deceive him? I guess.
Actually, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Didn't Torkel already have the
DM,
cipher?
is it possible for me to
Have the
cast a
cipher, yeah,
spell on myself? I think I should have said it before I said the words.
Uh-huh.
A subtle metamagic spell to boost. Hold on. Fuck, what's
To
it?
have a verbal, somatic, or
Sorcerers are so
physical
complicated,
component.
What do you need?
Do we just see you
Um,
like casting a
it's
spell
a-
as we're having a conversation?
No. I've subtle casting. I cast without verbal or somatic components of enhanceability.
Okay. Yeah. So you enhance your own ability.
Yeah. Do I need to have said that before I actually said the words?
Well, I would like you to declare these things if you've got a plan or something like that. But I'll let it
Understand.
pass for now. But yeah, mark
I'm
off a
learning the
spell slot.
character, but
Yep,
I'll keep that in
that's
mind in
fine.
the future. Okay, cool.
Yeah, if you wanted to see someone who uses ability, just tell me before you start to infer it. But yeah, that's fine. So yeah, so
Advantage on
Advantage.
charisma checks.
yeah, so make a deception check.
Advantage. 22.
Oh,
20. He beats you by 1. So
all your secrets all belong to him.
it's a pretty. Both of you you've got a really. I'd say, given the stress of the situation, Torko's being okay.
I mean, I'm the one lying, right?
I'm just going to tell you what I'm just explaining the situation, right? And I'll let you
Okay.
decipher what you want to say. So, given the stress of the situation, Torko's intensity, and also your preoccupation to your role and your responsibilities, both of you are very well guarded in the situation. And there you go. You have the floor.
My character is mostly lying. I mean, ciphers are complex, and he's the only one who's able to figure it out, right? But it's not like outright lying of like fuck these guys. It's I don't yet know what's going on, so I'm gonna keep my cards as close to my chest as possible. It's probably he's probably able to like teach. It'd just be a pain in the ass.
I think Torkel will. Is there side tables, writing
Yeah.
desk, anything like that?
Yeah, there's a writing desk in the corner, a heavy one. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, he'll lay out the notes, and he'll lay out, or the notes that I collected from the table that was in the rear left-hand side of the place. I'll lay them out, and I'll lay out the book, and I'll sit on anything close by, and I'll like open my hand like towards the desk and say to Hendrik, I studied at one of the premier institutions in this land for over 100 years. I'm sure that I'll be able to pick it up. If you could, please, I would appreciate at least trying to disclose the information that came from one of my close friends. He left it for me, and I appreciate the use of your skills, but would also like to be kept in the know.
Purple has a very good silver tongue. Yeah, no, yeah. Okay. It is fair that these notes were ostensibly meant for you, Torkel, and it would be wrong for me to not be completely open with them. Okay, let me show you how to do this, and we work twice as fast.
Can I
Alright.
can I
And
observe?
I will
Sure. Do you guys, I guess, let
Right.
Thoric just observe and stand in the corner?
I don't acknowledge the work at all.
Okay.
I will do whatever I can to assist helping Thoric along. Like if he asks questions or
Yeah.
anything like that. I know that he's just observing, but like
Yeah.
He
Torkel
has
makes
his like little
an
notebook
effort
out.
to- Yeah.
Yeah. Make an intelligence check, DC 6 for me.
6.
Yeah.
This cipher sucked.
No, this is someone following lessons on the
Okay, yeah,
whiteboard.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Also, part of the cipher is written in something that I have spent like maybe 150 years like studying.
Yes.
Like it's about buildings and stuff, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, it's an intelligence save or just roll?
No, sorry, this is for Thoric just to make a DC.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a DC 6 intelligence check to see if you can follow along with what you're going to teach.
Okay.
Can I use inspiration to give him disadvantage?
No.
Wow! I love it.
See, the vowels are set on an inverse sine law, and
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't realize you had a negative too.
Yeah.
That's why I made it 6. So Thoric, we'll discuss how we're going to disseminate this information in a second. But Thoric, it is very much like being back in class, but using 100% of your focus to follow along. And you feel like if you don't make a note every 30 seconds, you are lost. And you're almost like saying to Hendrik sometimes like, don't speak so fast. Just like let me keep up. And you guys have to just give a second for him to catch up. But you allow that to happen.
God damn it, Toxie. I was gonna make that same joke.
Too slow.
So for disseminating the information, so what I can either do is I can either message the paragraph both to Ryan and Sean, or I can publicly post them, and you guys can
So,
read along with them.
physically,
Yes.
Torkel and I both are working on these. I mean, Thoric learned
Yes,
it, right?
the two of you
Thoric
would be
also- okay.
the
So-
two of you would be doing this, and then I guess the next person to potentially understand it would be Thoric. But
I'll at
Thoric
least
isn't
be
helping interpret.
noting I
Yeah.
must be note taking if not fully understanding. Like some things I can write down,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
understand it, but
Right.
write it down.
Yeah.
He gets the footnotes.
Yeah,
I'll
so
leave that as
Thoric is learning the cipher, but maybe not assisting with every single, translation to all the symbols within the book.
Yeah.
Okay, Leonardo is absolutely just letting this happen. In fact, what I imagine he's done is he'll probably actually unsheath the great sword, and I'm assuming you guys won't know my attention. He's making special attention to take care of that, making sure there's no mud or anything like that on it. And he's probably taking some very reverent care of it, making sure it's in top condition.
All right.
But that's going to be what he's busy with for the time being.
Lyranok strikes me as the type of person to sharpen his sword while drinking some tea.
Yeah. All right. So I will send this paragraph to both Sean and Ryan at the exact same time.
Hold on. Before we do
Yeah.
that, alternative. Torkel's working on some of the documents. I'm working on some of the documents. We could split it up half and half.
Well, I imagine you guys are going to stay awake all night and go through
Yeah,
it.
but I meant like Torkel's deciphering half of it, and I'm deciphering half of it.
All right.
Or
Well,
we're working together.
I'm trying to gather secrets.
All right.
It's about
well,
Also just read the other half after
yeah.
that.
All right. Let me just do something here. Okay. So
I'm just giving it as an alternative. We don't have to do it.
That's fine. All right. Hold on. Let me just work something out here, and this can actually work quite well. All right. Okay. Hold on 2 seconds. Sorry. Right. Okay. Why don't both of you roll me a D5 for me, please? Roll 1D5.
Thought so.
Okay, so this is corresponding to journal entries, so I'll send you these. No, it's fine. I'll just send it to you guys. Right, okay, so this one is to Ryan. This sounds okay.
As soon as Taco gets this information that he gets anyway, he's going to share it with the people because it's
Yeah.
within his
Mhm.
beliefs that everybody should understand and be able to know
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
learn.
Thork will indeed. I mean, he's Bahamut. He wants to save all this information. So he's going to be keeping
Yeah,
a copy
clearly.
of it.
That is a tenet of your religion, to save information.
What happens when you pick a rat bastard as a god? The hell? Okay. Yeah, I'll this is fine. I will post this. This is past censorship check. Where we posted.
The Gestapo approves of
Yeah.
this. It shall
Yeah.
be published.
Are we
Post it
putting
in
in
the
D&D
Discord.
notes?
Put it in, yeah,
Discord.
put it in D&D notes, yeah.
Yeah, you guys can have this one as well.
He learns about the war and he's very sad, but he's staying out adventuring. He's still looking for a vein stone, like somewhere else for some reason. What the? He fell in love?
Yeah, no, he
He
was
had a whole
married.
adventure.
You haven't fully deciphered everything yet, so we'll get to the next part of that in a second. But, if you guys want to discuss in characters as players, these two notes, and then go from there.
Oh, just a reminder, what year is it again?
1600.
Oh, so Eric might still be alive. Have we met Eric? I don't remember.
Eric is alive.
Okay.
I don't.
Hey,
I
no,
don't-
sorry. That's an assumption I'm just making. We don't know that. I've not. Torko doesn't know if. No, Torko's pretty. No,
There was
wrong.
notes addressed
There's a note
from
suggesting
Eric.
there was a meeting meant to happen at some point in the future.
Yes.
Yeah, so Eric must still be alive. Otherwise, or he could be a ghost, but I'm assuming he's alive.
It's actually a lich.
That lich.
Is Honeyman the pet name?
I don't know. You have to ask Nathaniel, but he's dead.
That's funny.
Quick, why don't you go and speak with Dad?
Don't think we have that.
I get should we read this out for the people for the video, the recording, audio recording.
I guess that they will be in the notes on potentially.
Yeah.
on the
So
right-hand
what
side.
I'm doing is I've copied the things that that Thork
showing
is
it on video
noting
too.
is noting down is being kept in the bio of the character sheet. So right now, what I have is a way to just show the recording.
Yeah.
I totally forgot there was a tertiary audience that potentially needed to see this stuff. All right, so once you guys have disseminated this information, why don't both of you roll me a 1d3, please?
Sorry,
Eric
what's
is
the
early doors in the Nedlin branch of Interior Matters. Do I know anything about
Yeah, I
the Nedlin
saw
branch
that.
of Interior Matters?
Both of you make me a religion check, please.
Religion checks.
Right, was the third war? Is that the most recent one?
Yes.
Oh, I'm competent in religion, guys. I guess that makes sense. Oh,
Wow.
it's so great being an elf. I mean, a human.
You're at what now?
Make a religion check as well.
Yeah.
Sure. I thought I might have some kind of advantage, but I do not.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good. So the both of you know the that bureau within Nedlin are the people who do a lot of they're the logistical support for a lot of city defense. It's they sort out a lot of the hiring and training of brass shields and stuff like that. But they don't run the brass shields, but they do a lot of the administration work for them.
Mhm.
They also are in charge of all the identity stone information and creation of identity stones and the information being accurate. So they're in charge of all of that. And then also I guess for Hendrik, I would say from your religion's point of view, your potential worries or I guess ideas of the interior and Ministry of the Interior, is that they are involved in a lot of other churches' business. And they get involved in a lot of like the minutiae, and they tend to, and sometimes take on like a quite larger role than what would be expected of them. But they're a very like hidden branch. They're not secret. They're not like a secret, organization within the church. But it's like the kind of State Department almost in a sense, the Interior Ministry of Interior, and things. But you've got both of you. So Ryan, you can ask me a couple questions, and Sean can ask me a couple questions as well about them.
Okay, this last entry that Sean posted mentions rumors of Nedland clergy making use of mages to test Star and have I heard anything like that before?
You've heard rumors, but you've never ever seen legitimatized evidence of that, because the Ministry of Interior vehemently denies that that is a thing. Like, that would be an affront to their god to use such blasphemy, to use arcane magicians to do that. And like, they've got divine magic, they've got clergy. Why would they need such purposes?
From my understanding of any information that I've had around Vainstone, it just dampens or kills magical ability. It doesn't damage or hurt casters.
It doesn't like hurt when they're around them, and you don't know of like any research papers or long-term studies about Vainstone like affecting people. I mean, most of the capital is built out of Vainstone. Now, if there's people, going mad or going crazy or whatever else like that, you would imagine to have heard of that.
Yeah.
But it is literally just like a null zone. It is like magic just does not want to
It's like being in
exist.
sensory deprivation.
Yes, pretty much for magic. Yes, of any type of magic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it's not a secret organization as in people know of it, but it's a secretive
People know of it.
organization as in it's not
Yes.
necessarily widely published exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask like a commoner, like, oh, what does the ministry do or the interior do? Like, oh, they come out and they give my baby a identity stone, and they know that they manage some of the brass shields. I think,
In
infrastructure.
some cities you can't get into without having your identity stone.
Nearly in all big cities, you cannot get into without your identity stone. Yeah.
Okay. It's a form of ID.
Mm.
It also does it have it has like a registry of crimes and stuff too that you commit,
Yeah,
right?
your identity stone can be marked.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a criminal, you can be marked with that. So, like, the guards can know not to let you in or arrest you on the spot, given on what's going on.
Can it be tracked?
You're unsure.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you can get beneficiary marks on there as well.
Yeah, you can. You can get, commendations, as was recommended to some of you for helping out in Sanson Square. Yeah, so there's more notes, but if you guys want to ask more questions about these.
I think Torko's after reading his note, I'm eager to continue deciphering if he can.
Sure. Why don't both of you roll me a D3, please?
D3.
Roger, Roger.
B1, calm down.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where does that fucking go? It's Sean's. This is Ryan's.
Oh. I get a timeline and right in my head. Oh wait, that's not right.
Yeah, because you guys are both working on, rather than doing it all together, we're not doing chronological. You guys are just doing more.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I just mean that. Right. So Ryan's was 1482. That's 1447, and this is 14. This is just okay.
just know that both Loranek and Thorek are like, oh, come on, keep us in the know. What's going on? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, Leonok is actually just sort of letting them figure it all out because he's like tangentially involved, but he's also knows like he's keeping his distance in the minute because not fully his business yet. So he's
Thorek
just letting
is
them get on with it.
Thorek is
Uh,
writing at like lightning pace.
Yeah. So as soon
DM,
as I've
Yeah.
broke that, I'll pass it along.
can I do a knowledge check on griffins?
Griffins.
Hydras.
Yeah.
Hydras. I know
Yeah.
griffins
Yeah.
are hydras.
Make a history check. Yeah. You've heard of them. They are an illegal smuggling operation across all of Earth. It's like a underground smuggling, what do you call it, gang.
Well, that's
Really a quick
fucking weird.
question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Did Nathaniel's hair ever return to his dark splendor, or when I knew him, did he have?
No, he had dark
Yeah.
hair.
Okay, it's important to know.
Here I'll post it. It appears, Torkel, that your friend broke the law.
Nathaniel broke. And any like.
He didn't murder anyone.
Yeah.
Maybe
So,
I
like,
don't know that
just-
for a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I
Cool
feel
pe-
like right now? You know that like quick cutscene of Gandalf like in Minas Tirith? That's what that feels like.
The gold pieces in brackets is for you guys as player to understand what griffins mean.
Okay.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
the fifth,
okay, yeah.
I think the fifth paper should be Thorkel's or Thorik's. How do I combine Thoric and Torkel?
Torkel. That's what when we Megazord into each other, that's what we become.
By their powers combined, they become
Torkel
Torkel.
sits on Thoric's shoulders.
Well, so it might be difficult the other way around.
Because Thoric did pass the intelligence test, and while Torkel and I are working on deciphering these, I imagine Thoric could go through one of
Do
them.
we know who the Hydras are?
They're a gang.
Oh, sorry, you
Smugglers.
just asked that, yeah.
I mean, you could make a history check. Make a history check, Sean.
History. It's always surprises me how hard I find finding the things I have to roll when it's in alphabetical fucking order.
15. All right, so the Hydras are kind of like their motto basically is like you cut one head, two appear. So it's a gang of smuggling operations that multiple agencies of the churches have tried to get rid of for years and never stomp them out. They've got a pretty big, I don't want to say operation, but like an underground presence in Vard, the home city where you're from. Because obviously a lot of criminals end up there. What do criminals do when they get out? They probably just go back to criminaling, go back to crime. So you know that like the Hydras do recruit from there, from Vard, and some of the people that do get out of it, of their sentences and things like that. Yeah, you can ask me a question about the Hydras.
They so this is an assumption based on real life, not the actual fantasy world we're in. There are tiers of items that are more or less dangerous to have, right? So like you have class A drugs, class C drugs, things like that, right? You have
Yeah.
firearms. Where, from my understanding, would is a raw chunk of it? So it's been smuggled. So did he approach? If someone was
So
approaching the Hydras for Veinstone, is that just because they can't access it, not because it's illegal, or because it's illegal and you need to be, and it's like a high.
To work with Veinstone and procure Veinstone, you need official certification from the Church of Kinos, who runs the quarry. So it's not like anybody can just go buy Veinstone. People
Right.
need to.
It's regulated.
It's regulated, and people need to bid the church. Like say if some laird our lord wants to build a house out of Vainstone or a structure out of Vainstone, they need to go bid for the church's attention and funding and pleasure, basically favor, not pleasure, to get that authorized. And that's the same for a lot of cities. Yeah.
In addition, it looks like he was pissing them off about 80 years before asking for the stone, anyways. In the one posted 1447. Even there was like I'm at the limits of their patience. They've stopped talking to me. So yeah,
The
he's been
largest
trying to
amount
get
of
more stone for years, decades.
yeah. I think they weren't happy with what he intended to do with it, right? Like the study was an
I still
issue.
don't know what he intended. That's the thing.
He wants to discover the origins.
Oh, is it the origins? Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, I thought he was looking
how
for like
if it's
other
like
sources.
naturally.
Yeah, it
To
looks
see
like
how
he
it
might
formed,
be
yeah.
potentially trying. This is me speaking. He potentially might be trying to figure out how to make it.
Yeah,
Because he
like if
mentions
it's actually occurring, if you could create it, yeah.
Yeah, because he says it could help in the war. Well, in order to have that, you need or you could, and if he figures that out, you could extrapolate how to add those properties to something
Yeah.
else.
Mhm.
So that was my understanding, but
Yeah, there it is. The last sentence of the first paragraph of the 1447. All this excites blah blah blah. The Vainstone origin intrigues me too much. I must know its source is an anomaly or can be found across the world.
Mhm.
And then the other ones are like him fucking trying to find it in different places around the world and going to absolutely horrible places.
And in terms of the Hydra, then, so having came and grown up in Vard,
Yes.
the is the perception sort of akin to like, oh, they're a gang, of smugglers, but they're not territorial or outwardly extremely violent, and they're just
It's like
fences.
if you know where to look, you can find the Hydras anywhere, and as long as you're willing to pay, they can get you anything. So like they were heavily like if there's any mention of Hydras, they tend to lose a couple people, but in a few months' time or weeks later, they're back in the same area, like a Hydra. It's like you cut off one head and two reappear.
But they're not necessarily, or is there a lot of discussion about trying to remove them from Vard because they're violent, or is it just an understanding that there are some people who traffic in stolen
With
goods?
the 15, I would say that the biggest reason why people want to get rid of them is because a guild and the Church of Mina, who work closely together, the League of the Golden Veil, which is a trade guild, which is a free guild run by a church, they see the Hydra's presence. Basically, they undermine the economy more so than they hurt people.
Okay.
So they undercut people. They damage the economic stability of regions rather more so than cutting people down or having racketeering efforts.
smugglers, not bandits.
Yes, they're not. They obviously like their way of dealing with big issues is just to fade away into the darkness and disappear before a fight even starts.
Okay. I
Mhm.
think that's all the questions I have in relation to the red waste that he refers to. Is that somewhere we're familiar with? I'm familiar with, or anybody here's familiar with?
It's somewhere.
And then
It's on the world map. It's like way east. It's right on like the eastern parts of the northern continent.
on
You
the world.
remember Nathaniel talking about it. It took him weeks to get there, if not like months on a ship. Sorry, yeah, weeks on a ship to get there, and then he like was in the desert for months and months and years.
Is the
trying
world
to
map
locate
on
it.
Legend Keeper?
It's not on Legend Keeper, but it should be on Game Rules updates. I'll see if I can post another version of it.
That's okay if it's not that. If it's just somewhere far away, then that's fine.
It's really far
I
away.
just
Yeah, it's thousands of miles away.
Is it close to the
Clantios Coast.
the place that we went where they had that tyrant imprisoned? This is just this is just player knowledge, so like you don't have to tell us if you because
you
I don't think
talking about the Barrowland, about the Dominator?
Yeah.
No, it's still thousands of miles still east of that.
Oh,
way in the
further east,
desert.
okay.
Yeah, even further east, like right on the
Is it
eastern shores.
Like the Plane of Fear?
Yeah, the Plane of Fear, just before the Plane of Fear.
Oh, okay. Holy shit, that's far.
All right, okay.
That is like almost as far across the continent as you can get.
Damn. I think Torko's like This is like when you find out like your aunt had like a history before she was your aunt. You know what I mean? Like when you find out that your a relative is an actual person who had like a life before
Yeah.
you knew them.
Yeah.
He's totally like, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah. There's one entry left.
Cool.
Do you want to have the honors, I guess, Torkel? Would you leave
Uh,
that to him? I guess.
I think I'd want us both to do it, like if it's
Okay.
possible to do it joint rather
Yeah.
than
I can
one
send
at
it to you
one at-
both at the same time, and you can both say that you're reading it as it's going.
Sure.
I think Thorok
Or all
should get
three
it.
of us even would be good, yeah.
Thorok is helping.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Absolutely, yeah, I'd like Thor to be
Well,
involved.
I will send it to all three of you then.
You can just put D&D notes in that case.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking to a person who's going to have to ask what unsullied means.
The characters are too long. It's a big long message.
Oh fuck! The big one was the one that we. Okay, this is the one.
Oh my god!
I've summoned Satan. Okay, this is
Holy
the last.
fuck.
Oh,
We should have started.
fuck.
See, when we saw all the
This-
writing in this one, we should have started with it. 1599.
This is gonna be the big one that I should have burned. Not that I'd do anything like that. Of course. I love this guy's journal. It's like, oh, I'll take a note every 50 years.
He is a dwarf though, like
Yeah, I know. That's
when you live
exactly.
for like 350, it's kind of like that's like, you know.
I just want to imagine like an elf's notes being centuries at a time.
Yeah.
His marriage was a causality of his obsession. So I guess.
Like casually.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, casual makes more sense in the context.
Is that how you spell
He has
casualty?
deep rot in his
No,
lungs.
it's
I hope
not.
the fuck that's not from.
I thought it was causality.
No.
It does say causality,
Yeah,
but if you read it
it
in
is
context,
causality.
I think it's
It is.
It's a mistake
it's
from
a
the DM.
typo.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
Causality
it
doesn't
works
make
as
any
causality.
sense. And
He fell in love with the person because of his work.
yeah, but
Or
it doesn't make
he-
any sense in the context
It's
of the paragraph.
supposed to be casualty.
Okay.
I'll edit it right now.
Thorok wrote causality.
he was responsible for that.
He mistranslated.
Hey, listen, causality is a long word. Are you okay with that?
I can just break it into smaller chunks and I can get it done.
Snake shit mad is going in my lexicon for sure.
Abandonment of the teachings of Kinos and God damn it, this is the one I should have burned. Oh, I'm not through it.
Just tries to burn it in the middle of us reading it.
Not only is it not burned, it's also copied.
I don't think you're strong enough to take those copies either.
Fireball.
Yeah.
Don't know if that would even work.
I also have Shield Master, so I can better chance of avoiding it.
Hey Cypher, when they buried this dude, they cremated him, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
You watch his body burn. Yes.
Yeah.
If his body was really there.
I was gonna go dig him up and arrest him.
I'm sure there are cops in the afterlife.
I'm
mean,
being
yeah, they're
totally
called
genuinely
angels.
serious here. There is a way to convene with heaven to say this person actually was not what they said they were. You can get them kicked out of heaven.
Oh,
Heaven's
yes.
got to be
Oh,
really slacking if they're letting people in that the mortals have to contact them and be
I
like,
will-
"Yeah, buddy, you've got that one wrong, by the way."
At least that's what you're taught. That's the
like-
power of tea.
I like the idea that there's like a form you have to fill out in order to get someone kicked out of heaven. Yes, this guy's life was a waste.
Well, he taught Tortle. That's something.
Yeah, Torgal said he's one of his teachers, not like his apprentice or whatever.
He was an important friend.
Yeah. Holy shit. I just got the second post.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, you got some interesting reading ahead of you.
The second post?
The second,
There's-
yeah.
In a final attempt on this.
Oh, okay. When
Are you
The
trying to ask
information
when this happened, when this journal entry was put in?
the information I had about his passing was natural causes, right?
Yeah.
He mentioned something about a cough that was fatal.
I just want to point this out because Torkel realizes, no, you guys realize this. The date of this entry is 2 days before he died.
Yeah.
He didn't die. Maybe he's out there in the wind, disappeared.
He could
It
be
says that he
you.
wrote.
He could be me.
Does this entry predate or postdate the correspondence asking to meet?
This post dates that letter he would have received from Eric. The one from Eric is like a little bit of time before this. So whatever reply he sent to Eric, like Eric's letter, is been sent, or maybe it has been sent. Maybe he's referring to speaking to Eric even before now. You're not too sure.
Are there windows in the room that we're in just now?
You're on the ground floor. There'd be one single window outside. Yeah.
Can I just like peek out of it and do
Sure.
a little scan
Perception
of
check.
the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that we know that there's potentially fucking
Can
magistrate.
if he's going over to check the windows, can I go over and help? Can I
Yeah,
roll my own
sure.
or whatever?
You can give advantage to one of these. Okay, 18. Yeah, roll perception check as well. 29.
Oh, nice.
Both of you head out to the window and you see the pale moonlight bleeding through the grey clouds that are now disappearing faster and faster. You can see the reflections, the water pools, the drippings from rain gutters, the bright, vibrant colours of houses around you, the smell of the cold, moist air, the humid, moist air, and you scan rooftops, you scan alleyways from the ground floor, and you don't see a soul or a mysterious figure.
We're looking out for like literally, I'm not joking, secret police, secret police, and we're just like, I wonder if he's standing in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
God.
I would say to Thoric and to Torkel and Hendrik, reading the word magistrate would send a shiver up your spine.
Is everything okay, my friends?
I have,
You seem a little bit startled by what you found.
I have a series of questions real quick. I need to get sorted out before I figure out what my character is going to do in the next second or so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can people's estates be held responsible for their crimes?
Do you mean like their family members?
Like their house. Like, can this person murdered someone but they're dead. We seize their house. Sort of
Do
thing.
what with it?
I don't know.
I mean, the
What
property
purpose?
the property in that case would probably just fall back to like the Ministry of Masterworks, or potentially like it would just depend on what church was interested in taking the house. It's like if it was if it was a brass shield investigating a house, they might the brass shields might take control of the house, then put it back in the market, recoup some losses. If it was like a riot or something like that, that might change it. It's very dependent. I don't want to say like a blanket term of yes. I'm going to say no in this case.
That's fine.
It doesn't.
You give me plenty. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like learning my god stuff. Nothing in here is like, other than this dude was a criminal, is like dark knowledge or anything like that,
No,
right?
I don't think so. No,
Yeah.
it's just basically at the end of it, it's just him admitting that he's brought an enemy of the state, not an enemy of your god, an enemy of the state potentially here, and brought the eyes of them upon him.
Okay. Well, okay, thank you. I'm done.
Mm. I think Toko's going to gather up all the papers
Mm-hmm.
and place them in one, and well, as many of them as he can in multiple different pockets on his being.
Okay. Yeah, there's several
Um,
notes, and you put them around. Yeah.
He turns to his companions. I apologize for requesting your help in this endeavor. It seems that I have unknowingly exposed us to some scrutiny that may not be very comfortable for you all. Loranok, to briefly update you, my tutor and friend seems to have been living a double life, and there is the potential that someone from what's the country called?
Gilland.
Tealand. Yeah, potentially a magistrate of Tealand is now, or has been, multiple have been following him because of his research into Vainstone. Uh,
You see, they're not. Probably, he's been like smiling because it's just his default. As soon as you mention like this Tealand, the smile sort of falters a little bit. And that is certainly quite an accusation to make.
It is not an accusation. It is
Well,
stated. I'll go through the pockets and pull it out and like provide them our breakdown
Well,
as.
a revelation, then rather. But we do not know for sure. He seems. Oh, sorry. That is most serious. Does it say what it was about? He was studying Vainstone.
Yes, he was investigating Vainstone in an attempt to find if it was, I assume, an actually occurring the rock, or if it had been created or made, or went through a process. I think that he possibly discovered something when he went to Galgalion, but I am unsure. The notes
He doesn't mention
he
discovering
does,
anything there.
but he does state that he found that he believes that something happened when he was in
I
Galgalion.
think I mean, it sounds like he got discovered asking questions, but
Mm.
during my best attempts to find answers about the stone, I attracted the attention of their hounds. But he doesn't reference finding anything up there, actually. Just being extremely obvious and getting caught, essentially.
Hmm. Well, any understanding of Vainstone is something that Tearland would much like
But-
to gain. If
But why would he go there to find answers about Vainstone?
It has an effect on magic. It may be that something led him to believe that they have
What that they're
been
creating
also
the stone that
studying. If I were the ruler or commander of a force that had or could potentially have issues with another country, and I know that they have one specific defense against me and my people, I would spend a lot of my resources trying to find a way to break that down.
Okay.
it is a reasonable reduction, but as a reminder, we are currently at peace with them.
Peace only lasts so long.
I mean, we're at peace, but
Well,
I train to fight. That doesn't
it
mean
is
we
an
learn new
ideal
methods
that
of fighting.
that peace. It is an ideal that that peace should be kept for as long as possible. I would rather hope that this one is permanent. That this one is permanent
Well, either way, this issue at hand is resolved. The trail leads nowhere in particular except for, well, the bottom of the pit underneath his house now, which we're not going to be able to do anything with, and I have no interest in involving myself in.
And
Is this matter closed?
I don't believe that this is closed. The scenario is potentially multifold, but bear with my assumptions. Nathaniel either passed of natural causes within 2 days of writing this last entry, or his assumption was correct and that someone was following him. Now, if that person was able to go into the house and review these items and had potentially broken the cipher, then they would know that the discussions and the research that Nathaniel had carried out had been passed across to Eric. There is a meeting scheduled for some day in the future, and Eric may or may not appear. I think that he is potentially in danger. It would be a disservice to my friend not to at least attempt to assist his husband, his ex-husband.
If you believe that someone is in danger and requires assistance, then I will be glad to aid you.
I'm
But-
right beside you.
Should look at Hendrik.
Hendrik looks back.
Hendrik looks at the corner of the room. I have to think on this further. This got complicated, and I do have business of my own I have to take care of here.
Understandable.
When is the meeting?
It's in a few weeks' time. It's like 3 weeks away. I know it's a full month away, I think, from today. Yeah, I think it's the. I mean, just 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think it's like the 10th day of Balran. Yeah, 10th day of Balran. I've got that in my head for some reason. I think that's it.
A month.
A month.
I would be willing to help you with this if you could help me with my issue. I strongly believe that it can be resolved. My problems can be resolved one way or another within that month's time.
I have no problem with assisting anyone. I would happily do so. I think that we would be served speaking to Eric before the meeting date, but
Oh, do we know where he is?
we do not know where he is. So it may be
Hmm.
that we have to rely on meeting him on the meeting date. Alas, if you have something that you would like us to help with, or this me to help with, I am happy to do so. You have assisted greatly in cracking this cipher.
Well, there is a matter of smugglers, actually. I wonder if there's any overlap. Well, did he say where? Let's see. Smugglers. Well, I'm just gonna go over the paper again.
Yeah.
Where
I
the
mean,
fucking
I've read through it recently. There's no explicit mention of the Hydras in your letter, but that's not to say
yeah.
they're not connected. If there's such a secretive cabal of things, and
51.
he he could possibly
Oh, but
uh,
that took place before he moved in here, so it might not even be in this location.
it might not, but that
Yeah.
could yield some results maybe to your
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find some minor religious artifacts. One of them was, or most of them were recovered from a heist a century ago or so.
decade, just shy of a decade.
Oh, was it a decade? No, it couldn't have been a decade. It was a decade? No, it was captured decade. Whatever. I'm not gonna argue with the DM. That was stupid of me. A decade ago. And I'm trying to find the loose bits and pieces that were not collected in the initial arrest. Mostly, I think it's gonna be hunting down smugglers and corrupt church officials. But that can wait for another day. It's late. We've gone through this. I'm sure that Torkel would probably like some time to figure out what his next moves are in regards to these papers.
There is a lot of. Oh, sorry, is that not outward?
No, it's outward. Yeah, it is outward. It is outward.
Okay.
Torkel, the crime has been done, and the man is dead. No justice can be carried out from here. It may be better to burn the papers we have here. Unless that knowledge of what your friend has done gets out.
Just give me 1 sec to finish copying it, then I'll let you burn it.
I'm gonna just look at my religious tenants. Where is?
We're getting the philosophical question of whether or not someone writing their life story is a masterwork.
No, it's destroying something that has outlived its usefulness. Yeah.
Does this count as research or just like a diary?
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, a bit of both.
But there are no actual indications in these notes of anything that he's discovered in relation to Veinstone.
There's no actual knowledge here.
Yeah, it's all about his process of conducting the research, but we don't have the research notes.
Correct.
The research notes are gone. They took the fucking research notes. Oh,
It'd probably
you're
be. It would.
fucking dumb.
It may be for the better that the research notes are gone.
We could always just redo the research.
It took this fellow, what, 200 years?
Yeah. I think the point that we're missing is that if Nathaniel was correct and he was being followed by someone from Deoland, then there is a potential that the magistrate is loose within Erith and they have Nathaniel's notes. And whilst he may be ostensibly a criminal, he was not stupid and he had a great understanding of stone working and the properties inherent to different materials. It is potentially problematic and possibly a national incident. I agree. It pains me to have to destroy the writings of a friend who's very dear, but they have no longer any use. And we have some copies from Thoric. In any event, I will not force my decision on him. He can do what he wishes with his copies, but I will be burning these. And I say he
Is there
literally
like
just
a
starts burning them.
fireplace? Is there like a fireplace or Franklin
I think we have
stove or
tinder
something,
boxes.
or-
I'm just gonna light on fire.
No, on the fucking like counter.
To
You're gonna burn the place down. Is
Nah.
there like
decisive action on impulse and destroying something that has lived its usefulness is a tenet of Kinos, so there will be something
Yes.
burning.
this inn has outlived its usefulness. Time to burn it down.
There's a small chamber pot you can burn stuff in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll throw it in the chamber pot and firebolt it.
Take a point of piety, Sean.
Firebolt.
As it's being burnt.
Do I
You're going?
get a point of piety?
Let me look at your tenants.
Do we start
Mhm.
off with 1 point
One.
of piety?
Yeah, so you're now
I'm
at
at
2.
now. Oh, every time I try and make something
Yeah.
and it sucks, I'm gonna have to lose piety.
I would say the last point of earning piety, teaching people like Tyr and the role he has to play, I would kind of like understand it as that, you made the case that what he's done is illegal, but currently right now the law can't intervene. So I'll give you a point of piety for that, Ryan.
Okay, and then some knowledge is best lost.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
I had-
it's technically not lost.
I
it's-
burned
it's-
Torik's copies as well.
No, it's in my book. You don't get that.
Well, it's your handwriting now, so it could be argued that you've just forged it rather than it being Nathaniel's handwriting.
Fair.
Because he's an accomplished scholar, so he is books and stuff like that.
I'm
Fair.
so glad you decided to burn this in my room as well.
As it's burning,
Your room
I
is the biggest room.
as it's burning, I activate thaumaturgy and read out everything that's no.
All right.
Oh, my understanding of this, the cantrip mending, if I do have any understanding of it, is that it can't mend burned copies of letters, right?
I would need to check that. I don't think it would. If
I
you
think it
destroyed-
would mend it
From
if it was like you had.
ash? Mm.
Yeah, I think it would mend it if you had like two pieces that could like stitch together. But ash to readable, I don't think so.
Ashes to ashes, mending to mending. All right. With that, let's take a quick 10-minute break, and you guys can have a think about what you're going to do. We will say now, it's in the early hours of the morning. You guys have rested. Your level ups have happened. You're at full hit points. You're at full spell slots. So you'll come into the next day.
I
Oh,
think we had
I
some
forgot to
problems
level
with my character sheet.
Are we level 3 now or level 4?
4.
Yeah, my character sheet doesn't update.
Let me.
It says level 4, but
Yeah.
it shows level 3. I don't know if you want to go into. Oh, shit, let me type that.
No, it's fine. I'm doing it.
ability
why is
score
it
improvement.
level 4 plus 1? Okay, back. Opt out. I don't know why it's saying 3, but you'll be level. You're still you're level 5 on your actual class there. I can see it. So if I put you to 6, your proficiency bonus will go up. So yeah, you're the correct level in your character sheet. Don't worry about
Okay, cool. So, okay, and then I need to fix my spell. I think I did start fixing my spells because some of them are like cantrips.
it. Yeah, I think. Okay, I think it's fixed it now. I can take this little extra spell slot away from you.
Ah, sick, brilliant. Was he something I forgot? And when we went up to level 4, there isn't anything from the level up apart from health
Hit
points.
points. There's a feat or
Or
ability score improvement.
an ability score improvement's +2, right?
Yes, a plus
Or
2
one-
or a plus 1
one
to
and
do
one.
different abilities. Yeah.
And do ability score modifiers go up on odds or evens?
Evens.
Evens. So your
So
wisdom, if you
18.
put it to 18, it would go up, and that would
Sick.
improve your spell save DC, put everything up.
Yeah, and so and if I put my intelligence up 1, it would be 2, right?
It would be plus 2 to your intelligence checks, yes.
Yeah, I'm good to that.
Okay. Yeah. That's
So
fine.
did I just amend that on the sheet?
I'll just put in a little note here that is
Yeah.
oh, what did that speak?
You do.
Feat. I was making note of this. Level 4 ABI plus 1 whiz plus 1, and then we can keep track when we've got track of it.
Yeah.
There you go. There we go. Now I can
Cool,
put
cool.
Should I get another cantrip? Cool.
nice. Yeah. All right. Let's take a 10-minute break. Stilty, you missed a lot.
Good.
You missed a big lower dump.
Okay.
You can I'm just going to
Try and catch up.
spend it.
The best thing is there will be a video of it, so you won't be you just have to wait a couple of business days, but you'll be fine.
Huh.
Oh yeah, and we're slowly turning Hendrik from an unsociable asshole to just an asshole.
No.
Also, I'm
Social. What's your charisma, motherfucker?
Just because you're charismatic doesn't mean you're sociable.
Yeah, true.
I'm also doing my best to make sure that Hendrik's push to destroy all things that should be forgotten doesn't happen.
This is why you're gonna be dead before this campaign is over.
Why? Just because I take
Wow,
notes?
that's a threat.
Yeah.
Who was
Guys,
the
I
who was the
think
one
it
that
was-
shielded you from like your entire HP going down during the fight in the basement?
So you saved my life once, and suddenly I owe you.
That's generally
You-
how that works.
You
Yes.
have power over me.
It's not that you
Yeah,
owe.
that's
It's
your
that
power over me.
it's that like I'm here to help, and now you're threatening me.
I remember signing no contract.
I mean, you were just that drunk, really.
So what did I miss? A big fight or a big lore dump?
Lord Ump, D&D Notes
Lord.
has basically deciphering the notes we saved from the basement. D&D Notes has
Oh,
the stuff. It'll be.
We went back to the inn.
John's friend is a criminal.
He is a criminal.
Criminal. I'm gonna file that paperwork. I'm kicked out of heaven, guys.
Oh, yeah, I fully expect you to.
Well, hang on. He's a criminal, but we don't know if he did it for good reason or not. Maybe he still deserves to be there.
But also, we aren't sure if the afterlife hasn't already judged him for it. We just don't know.
You're correct.
Best to file the paperwork just to make sure. Okay, you know, I'm gonna go with a fun cantrip. What's here?
What's
Light.
fun can
I got okay, I could do light, I guess. I can already see in the dark, so why would I bother? Okay, what do I got? I already got light.
Mind Sliver.
I got light, guidance, mind sliver, and firebolt, and I get cleric or sorcerer cantrips. Let's see.
say good flame.
Hold the Dead.
I could do that. I already have 2 attack ones. I don't want to do another attack.
Druidcraft.
Mm-hmm.
Prestidigital that one.
Mage hand, minor. There's prestidigitation. There's minor illusion.
Mage Hand could be useful.
There's message. Clerics don't have many cantrips. That's thaumaturgy.
I have thaumaturgy, so I can shout as loud as I'm strong.
Oh.
Are you a cleric, Ryan?
Sorcerer.
You're a sorcerer. Oh.
And sorcerer spells.
Does anyone else have Identify, just so I know?
I think. Oh shit! Hold on. All my shit's fucked up. I have Identify as a
Ritual.
forge. Yeah, no, as a
Domain.
domain spell. So I always
Oh.
have it no matter what.
Okay.
That's cool.
So if people don't want to use, don't want to have Identify, then feel free to.
I
Yeah.
have it, but only as a ritual. So if you want to, yeah, but it's a domain, so
Fine,
you
you're-
always have it.
You're basically
Yeah,
only ever going to cast it after ritual anyway.
Can't, I don't know why that's circled in red. How do you check which spells are available to you?
What do you mean?
You go
To, like,
to
learn.
wiki.com. Here, I'll post it.
Well, Roll20 has a spell, or when you go to the compendium, click spells and choose filter. You can filter everyone per class.
I can go. I can either go mend or mage hand,
Ooh.
or what's that? Can't like the most wizardy cantrip ever. The
what?
Prestidigitation?
yeah.
Oh, that one.
Oh, I think it's that I shouldn't have burning hands because that must be a
Minor illusion too.
thingy spell. Okay.
This is hard.
Okay, what I can have. Field of Faith. Shit.
Who here has light as a cantrip?
Me.
Anyone else?
Yep, I've got it.
Okay, I'm gonna drop that shit because the people who can't see in dark have the spell anyways. So fuck it.
I can see in the dark and I still have it.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
I am a generous person. I wish to help
back.
everyone.
Toxie's tired of
Monster.
playing the antagonist to the party while in the party.
Correct. I did. I
My
learned
turn
my
now.
lesson. I learned my lesson last campaign. It was like, I just could not play the asshole well. I want to be a team player.
You caught up now, Stewie?
I'm gonna go Mage Hand and Prestidigitation.
Kind of.
You were there for all this. You were just tagging along.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue reading as you guys go along. I'm gonna have to jump on and off for the rest of the session, so I'm kind of halfway here.
Okay, no problem.
I don't know how many spells I've got.
Let me check. Off the top of my head, I think it's cleric level plus wisdom modifier.
Yeah.
Cleric level
Okay.
4 plus wisdom modifier, which is now 4. So 8.
Oh, that's Loranic. Fuck.
Oh shit.
You're right. So this is correct, right? So you can prepare an amount of spells. Preparing spells for a cleric.
This
Yeah,
real- I've never played a
wisdom plus
sorcerer
cleric
before.
level.
So
Yeah, 8.
charisma has no bearing on the amount of spells I know or can cast.
Correct, because you're a sorcerer.
Huh. Okay.
It just makes them better.
So that's how many spells. 8 is how many spells I can prepare, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But how many spells can I know?
All of them.
All of
Everything
them.
on the cleric list, you know all of them.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
that's why clerics are strong.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's
The thing
learn
is,
daily.
when I was selecting between Bane, Bless, and things like that, I know all of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
you can
just the
change
limit is
them
prepared.
daily. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that choice you made, where it's like, oh, what do I learn? You basically have to do yourself. You technically can do that every long rest. You can change your
Got a
spell.
lot of
whatever you
spells to
want.
add to. I don't know all the cantrips though, do I?
Yes.
No.
No,
No,
you
you
know
only
all the
you
cantrips.
choose depending on
You
race,
can't
Yeah.
change
stuff like that.
Yeah. But you have your spells from your subclass, which are always prepared. So let me grab that, and I'll put a little brackets always prepared.
Yeah. That's
I used the red
magic weapon, heat metal, identify, and it should be sear and smite, but sear and smite isn't in the compendium on Roll20.
Ah,
You
that's
have to
because
add it
it's
manually.
a one from Xanathar's, I think.
Honestly, no idea. I thought it was a
Yep.
subclass tenant for one of the paladins.
Well, it is,
Smite.
but a lot of the smite spells were added in Xanathar's, and since Forge Cleric is a Xanathar's subclass, in this instance.
So Sean, for you have every second level spell available to you, so you can just drag them all in.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just putting these in.
Here's a
and-
pro tip. Don't do that. Just
Yeah,
pull the ones
yeah.
you think will be useful.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. You don't necessarily want every single one of them there, but like,
I don't know if it was you guys or a different campaign years ago, but someone literally pulled in every single cleric spell into there.
I
don't
did
know
that.
It broke them.
Solus did it. Solus does it, I think.
I
I'm calling Solus.
I only
I don't think
put
it's a
in.
bad thing to do.
I only don't put in the spells I'll never use. That's it.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
seeing your
They're
your
searing
druid
smiting.
loadout for
Nice.
like seeing how you set up your thing for your druid. My God, it's just I cannot play like that. I don't know how you manage it.
Well, I used to drag all the spells that I think I'd ever use, and then you're able to put click on them, as in have like the red, click on
Yeah.
the red dot
Yeah,
beside
for
them.
ready,
and,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ready,
that's-
prepared.
That's how I was doing it for the wizard.
Yeah, I think that's how you meant to do it.
That's
Yeah.
how I also. But wizards, it's also a lot easier because I have a set number that you learn.
Yeah.
I've never actually played well, actually tell I've played them on one shots, but I've never really played a prepared caster.
So the class spells, Cameron, there that are always prepared, they don't count towards my 8, do they?
No, you've got 8 now that you can prepare on top of those 4.
1, 2,
Pardon me, sorry.
3. Oh man, what other? Tech magic's probably useful. Inflict wound's probably useful. Second level spells. I've never even heard of continual flame. Whole person, lesser restoration.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Hello.
Oh, spiritual weapon. That's a baller spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy cop.
It carried me through honor mode, or tactician mode of Baldur's Gate a lot.
The fact that it's its own turn as opposed to your bonus
Mm.
action.
Mm-hmm. So good.
You know, so there's still a lot of people who think that spell isn't good enough.
Spirit Guardians goes burr.
Oh fuck! I hate Spirit Guardians so much.
It's like, oh, what have I got? I've got divine weapon and I've got the special weapon and I've got Spirit Guardians. I don't have to do anything. Everything just dies around me.
I remember
That's what I did.
I remember when streaming Baldur's Gate 3, spiritual weapon will just run through the crowd of enemies. Just so broken.
Like upcast it to 7th level and just run through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they restricted them to 6th or 7th level for that game because if you went any higher, it would start to break shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so Sean's just niggling away at his character sheet. I'm just gonna
Okay.
close it up so it doesn't break anything. Right. So going back into it, if everybody is happy. Yeah, we are now into the morning of Day of Friends, a day of communion, catching up with friends, social activities, relaxation, days in the pub, days in the fields, doing what you want to do, sports games, all these things as well. So it is, it's about a 7 a.m. start, dawn bells start ringing, and the weather is a light mist with a few clouds, but there's foggy streets, so you can see structures and people. The fog probably gives about a mile view in any direction, and then it starts to taper off. It's just become just a kind of haze of light, but the sun's going to start to come up. It's a bit warmer than usual, getting to about 10 degrees Celsius, 12 degrees, a bit warmer than some of the rainy weather you've been having. So it's still a bit cool. No breeze, barely any breeze at all, which is why the fog is hanging around. But the green streets, the multicolored houses, vibrant colors, is all still in front of you, and it's Rackmere, and you are in the Bed of Roses tap house. What do you guys want to do?
He wants to play rugby.
I would like to sleep in.
That is absolutely acceptable. Yes.
I would like to wake up early to get a nice early breakfast.
Yeah, P.O. has put on the spread, similar again, flatbread, jams, preserves, all that stuff is still there.
That's good for a pre-workout.
Yeah.
An entire ham.
Need that protein.
I like the day that he sees the spread and goes, "Excellent. What's everyone else having?"
Big guys need to eat big. Simple maths.
I mean, yeah, it might be simple, but Thoric might struggle with it still.
Thor's
I think
just down there
P.O.
drinking all the waffle
is
syrup.
the Bed of Roses tap house owner is taking it as a challenge as how much can he feed this man until this man says he's done with the plate.
Well, see, the thing is that he has food and then he works
out of
out.
house and home. He sees the person eating out of house and home and goes, "Challenge accepted."
No, the Thoric will happily pay. Like, he'll eat the first breakfast,
yeah.
he'll work out, then have another breakfast, then work out. Another breakfast, then maybe play games.
One of the tenets about being Baldry is feeding people who are hungry, and this fucker is just always hungry. So yeah,
It's just Dwayne the Rock Johnson's normal routine where he eats 1,000 calories, works out 1,000 calories, eats 1,000 calories,
Yeah. Doesn't show up the movie set for 8 hours at a time. So, so Thork, while you're in your own trailer getting your makeup done, and getting your head powdered, what is, I guess, Torkel and Loranek up to? I
Did
just,
we manage to actually get all the mud off us?
yeah, I would say you got most of it off you. There's still dry bits and crusted bits.
Cool. I would actually like to take some time to make sure it's like fully clean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't imagine it'll take too long, but it'll just be like,
No,
you
it's
gotta
quite a nice.
be.
It's a nice morning to do it. Walking down to the
Yeah.
well, down to the side street, with like your robes on and stuff like that, and going down and cleaning your armor and stuff.
Yeah, I'll just be doing that. And I don't know if he happens to see anyone that needs assistance on the way, he'll help them out. But
Hmm.
I
I
don't
think a few people who are going to get their morning pails of water for their kettles and their cooking utensils for the morning, like greet you and give you a religious, greeting. Oh, dawn be with you, and arise, light, burn off this fog today, and we may have a glorious day. And proverbs, not proverbs, but little isms like that of Arias, who's heavily worshipped in these parts as well, said to you and stuff, and they recognize the symbols of Boldrin, some give you Boldrin's greetings, but it's a bit of a queue, nothing major. But yeah, plenty, maybe 20 or so people around as well at any given time getting food or cleaning stuff or whatever else.
Yeah, he'll give all the same greeting or similar greetings back, doing his best to sort of, give the greetings however they've given it. So if it's Arias, he'll give them Arias's greeting, etc. And yeah, just patiently wait his turn, making small talk, I imagine, with them, like
Yeah.
sort of, agreeing with like, yes, I hope the fog disappears soon,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
things like that. And,
It will definitely burn off
like,
in this heat.
he's just there, basically trying to be friendly. Really, he's not.
Yeah.
Trying to do
I just imagine Torkel is just sitting upright in his bed, staring at the door frame, just being like, my everything I knew is just different.
Topple is definitely decompressing from a large revelation that kind of shook not core tenets of his life, but if you have a friend or someone that you were close to and all of this stuff comes out, he's not upset about it, and he understands why he was secretive, and he understands, like, he's more concerned that at that level of obsession pushing his friend into a position where he was like, Torko's starting to believe now that actually there's a high likelihood that Nathaniel was, like, accosted or killed, not in any innocent way, I guess. So he's having a bit of time by himself before he comes down for breakfast. A little bit shook.
Don't worry. As soon as we kill Eric, your friend's legacy will be safe and secure forever.
Yeah, not going to happen. A lot of the party here are good people. for once.
Murdering people can be good. It's fine.
I don't know if murdering people can be good, but whatever. We'll do what we want. Yeah. So he heads downstairs and just assumes the general personality that he has. Tries to make the most positive out of the difficult situation.
Yeah. So later in the morning, Hendrik eventually wakes up, and Loranek comes back from cleaning his items, and Orlean has probably got a small pitcher of maybe, I don't know, some hard substance.
Nope, no drinking for early. I've actually
No
been finishing off writing a letter. I was going to ask what the postal system's like.
The postal system. The postal system's pretty good. So this is fascinating, right? So
Here we
the
go.
Church of Fesnir operate a system of couriers, where you can hire a courier and they will travel across the country to deliver that. And they have a series of like outposts and stuff like that. So just on the outside of Old Town, again, you don't physically go there. You can give your letter to a courier that will then take it to there. And they work as kind of like, they're not unarmed, but they're resourceful. They don't stick them in roads much often. They really just go through the wilds, depending on how much you pay them, how well hidden you want them to be. So they operate like that. So yeah, there's definitely a courier system. And
Somewhat expensive then.
yeah, it's a premium service. I mean, you could just go with a regular courier service with, trade caravans and, bundles of meal, or you can hire, a ranger of Thesnir to deliver a message.
What are we talking price wise for?
How much gold do you have?
I've 10 gold.
Are you getting mugged?
I'm just asking the DM. I would say for you to get a letter back within like how quick do you want it to get there, and I'll tell you if
Doesn't
you can
have to
afford
be.
it
It
or not.
doesn't have to be quick.
All right, okay. Yeah, you're going to spend 8 gold pieces, and it's probably going to get there within maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Make a note of that in your character sheet, and I'll write it down too as well.
Yep.
Mark it down in the calendar as well. That's actually super easy. So 2 weeks from today, 1 week, 2 weeks. Yeah. Expected date. This is great having calendar of Orly's letter arriving.
It is super nifty, yeah.
Yeah, very useful.
I'll DM you the details later.
Yeah, that's grand.
The
That's grand.
contents.
Grand. Okay. Yeah, so you do that. All right. So the day is yours, my friends. You're in Rackmere. You're at your own devices. For the sake of just cleaning stuff up, your payments of your lodgings within the Bed of Roses Tap House end at the start of next week, so on the 15th or the first day of the second week. And that's when your lodgings runs out within the Bed of Roses Tap House.
And just in how many days is that?
That is in today, tomorrow, and then the day after. So you've got 3 days until you need to repay your costs of staying in the Bed of Roses Tap House.
Okay. It's fine. Yeah, so I suppose Thor just asks, like, what's the plan for today then?
Sure. So yeah, Hendrik just walks down from bed after everyone's already done eating. Looks like garbage, and then just makes a hand gesture, and it's all clean and pretty, and looks like he's ready to go out and conquer the day. The plan is to get some paperwork, read some paperwork, question people, threaten people, and just general policing.
Is it a requirement for the police to threaten people?
I mean, if you're dealing with criminals,
How do you know that they're criminals?
because they've committed a crime.
I don't know if I'll be very good at intimidating. Says the 8-foot-tall, 20-strength dragonborn.
Yeah.
What's your intimidation?
+1.
So the general thing that I'm gonna ask for help out is I don't need help with the paperwork. I'm fine with that. But when we go and talk to some people, they're going to be focusing on me and maybe Thork. If everyone else can just snoop about, you won't get in trouble. You have authority to look around places. It's fine. And see if you can find anything that stands out as odd. It's kind of hard to describe exactly what investigation pertains, but when you see it, you'll know it.
I will do my best, but I am not necessarily the most discreet of people. You can
That's
tell once
okay.
again in the resplendent armor, and it's like, also it's not
This'll-
his nature.
This will be a learning.
I
opportunity.
can make up for the two of us.
When
So-
you say snoop, do you mean in their homes or their places of work?
Yes, everywhere.
And we are just allowed to enter there?
As associates of mine, yes.
There is no requirement to have authorization?
And I'm going to pull out my medallion of Tyr, and then
This is
put
my
away my
authorization.
medallion of Tyr.
Do you know what? Do you know what might actually work? Says Thork, thinking he actually has a good idea. If you can we like imprint that medallion and have your signature at the bottom so that people can actually like believe us?
I'm sure we'll be with him.
Well, I will be, but
Uh,
for the rest of you,
Well, we need the first stop we'll do is to the brass shields. Hey, DM, it's the brass shields, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, good. I'm still trying to learn that. And I'll get you a temporary deputy star there, Thork.
Well, I'm with you. I literally just said for everyone else who is not going to be with you.
You're the new sheriff in town. Okay.
Anyways,
would-
we're just talking and we're just looking around. Neither of those things are overtly threatening or troublesome. It'll be fine.
How long will you need to do your paperwork?
Half an hour.
That's enough for another session of workout. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I don't need to help with that directly, but yeah, after that we're gonna go and we are going to talk to the people at the morgue. So, hey DM, if I'm incorrect about any of this, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm here to find is a silver urn. It is one of, I believe, eight, I think, that was gone missing. They're not just normal urns; they're of important people.
As in, they contain the remnants of an important person, or
Yes,
they would.
the ash.
And these urns are pure
Oh, it's
silver.
sorry.
Or...
It's one of 9. The other 8 have already been found. But I'm here to look for the last one, the last loose thread, essentially.
Are they marked?
The original 8 were found with the smugglers, but the reports I have end at that point, unfortunately. So we're going to go to the brass shields and see if there is additional information that I can find there, and then we're going to go to talk to the morgue people and snoop around and stick our noses just everywhere.
The
All right.
the urn that we are searching for, is it marked? Does it have discernible? Where is it a collection of people? Did they work together to tell a story?
The report I have doesn't say anything about that, but we'll get more information on that, and then the more detailed local report might have more information on that.
Interesting.
Okay. So you guys want to head to the Brass Shield Patrol House?
Yeah, let's go to the police station.
Right.
Willingly for once.
Okay. So at the crossroads, as you start to leave the Better Roses Tap House, head past Sanson Square, Hall of the Zealot, head deep in towards Old Town, and the buildings start to get more cramped, alleyways start to get a bit more confined, buildings smaller. And you see the building of the Brass Shields, quite a tall building for Old Town, historical. You can see that cracks and little bits of chips in the painting. It's very much function over just pure intimidation. You see brass shields with their copper, beaten bronze colorings of metals around them. They have, the symbology, the chest plates emblazoned with symbols of the Concord, of various, whole legal texts and reminders and all that stuff as well. Varying heights, varying races or brass shields. It's not so much like a station where criminals constantly keep getting brought in and out. It's not busy like that. But on the main entrance from it, you see a great open half oval archway extending deep into like arterial chamber. Like so, the front 2 doors are just open, and there's a couple of brass shields standing guard. But they don't ask your business. They kind of just let you guys walk in, and you're basically heading towards like the reception kind of area. And you see that as you walk inside, there's these huge pillars. You go about maybe 30 feet deep, and there's these huge pillars supporting the roof that goes all the way up, right up to the roof of the ceiling, where there is a huge glass canopy, like half semicircle, where light is pouring down through. The structures, the pillars that are holding the building aloft are actual statues of Tyr, like from foot down to head is how tall the statues, the pillars have been carved into the forms of Tyr, with his empty socket eyes, holding his methods of justice, his texts and his scales. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, members of Tyr are members of the Brass Shields, but Isn't the brass shields also composed of people from
Nedlin.
Nedlin? Thank you. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So Nedlin does like all of like a lot, as I said, administration work for the brass shields. The churches of Tyr officiate the laws and do the sentencing and judging, but they don't out and out do the policing. But a lot of people who are brass shields would be worshippers of Tyr for believing in justice and laws and all that stuff as well. So it's kind of like, I guess you would say,
Netherlands are the beat cops.
yeah, like, so as I said, like if you think of like priests of Tyr as like district attorneys or attorneys and judges, think of brass shields as like beat cops and patrollers employed by the Church of Nedlin to do that. Yes, that's where the separation comes in. But it's very complicated. It's very mixed. It's it's quite complicated to explain the entire situation of how it all works and different cultures have different views of it all. So yeah, on these huge big statues, there's religious text carved into like the legs, the arms, the back, the metal pieces of clothing that would be I'd seen on Tyr. There's these big dark grey banners which hang from the walls showing the symbols of Tyr. And the interior is like, as you get to the kind of arterial chamber, there's about 8 different hallways of offshoots, and on those hallways like twist and turn again. And there's like multiple doors, so it looks like once you go past this like arterial chamber where this receptions is, it would be like almost mazy, and very difficult to orientate yourself of where you are when you start to leave this part of it. It's got about 5 floors on it, so yeah, you walk up to the receptionist, I imagine.
Yeah, and yeah, me as a person has no idea how this works, but Hendrik has done this shit before, and he will ask for the relevant documents, show his badge, show the report I already have.
Yes, you would show your officiating from the High Judge of Erith. Yeah.
Thorek is there,
just
just looking big and smiling.
Alright, okay, so yeah, that's pretty quick. The receptionist greets you, gives you like information, checks the paperwork, copies a little bit, copies to make a lodging of this, and then fetches a scribe of Tyr. The acolyte. The acolytes of Tyr are one of the very few who don't shave their heads. Tends to be a lot more other acolytes will shave their heads and keep themselves hairless. But these ones, they don't tend to do it as often as other ones do.
Okay, now's a good time to bring it up. Hendrik is obviously wearing a wig, guys.
Nice.
Oh,
He's wearing like the 17th century like big like
The
not
powdered wig.
exactly like a judge, not a powdered wig, but like the style just before that, where it was like brown hair and like perfect curliness.
Like King Louis.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Hendrik is wearing a wig.
Okay. Yeah, it's like so hair in this culture seems like a little bit provocative. Like people tend to keep their hair pretty short, and women keep their hair covered up within this culture. So it's kind of like a challenge to authority, slightly almost, that these people, the people that enact the laws, get to keep their hair long. Like it's a bit of like a flex almost, where they get to keep the hair how they want it.
what are
So
you gonna
anyway,
do? Report me to my boss?
exactly. So they get a bit more freedom with that. So anyway, the receptionist sends an acolyte, and you're on the 3rd floor, where one of the multitudes of documents and annals and information is written up and correlated and kept. And it is, you go up the stairwell, and it's like you go down like one hallway, and then you're up a stairwell, and then you almost feel like you're doubling back on yourself, and you go up another stairwell, and you go down across the hallway, and you're down again, like half a floor, and then he opens the door, and unlocks it with a key, and gestures in and says, "Here will be the files that you're needing, sir. You will find the ones dated for that specific case in the far left-hand corner. If you need any assistance, I'll just be on the outside of the door if you need any specifics."
Sounds good. Okay, DM. Yeah, I'll just go through them and find my documents. And
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a ton of time doing bureaucracy
No,
stuff. for the
that is
sake
fine.
of it.
That is fine. I'll give you the cliff notes for it. Right. Okay. So in the official report it's very much like what your dispatch was, is that your man Slate was fingered as being the person
what?
who like pointed out.
Oh,
We
That's
fingered him. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like they pointed him out. Slate was found with some of the urns, convicted, sent to Vard for manual labor for 6 years. The interrogation was 6 hours, and then he was convicted of the crime. Very short amount of time. Investigation of his home didn't turn up the final urn, and Slate maintained innocence, that he was unaware of anything like this. He claimed to have no involvement, to have no knowledge of the urns going missing, to have no knowledge of the Valen monks that were assaulted days prior. Nothing like that. Absolutely nothing. So that's what you get from there. You see that there's a how would I put this? There's a note by the judge, who is deceased, putting in that basically says the case was expedited as per instruction, like as an official remark to whoever reads the case, that the case was expedited per instruction from his superiors, basically.
Is that unusual?
That is unusual. Tyr and Follow's Tyr take justice very seriously, and justice doesn't have a time scale. Justice and law does not have a timeline for it to be, more valid or less valid. So, yeah, it's unusual, but you're pretty intelligent. You're pretty wise. I would say that looking at this, you almost get the sense this was his way of covering his back if he ever had to explain himself as to why this case was expedited, or why, like, I was told to, basically.
God damn, it's the Nazi defense.
So yeah, I mean, you could do some more digging if you want. Hold on.
What's the name of this fellow who wrote the report?
Well, it'd be the judge, the one who's deceased, whoever wrote this report.
Oh, that fucker. Okay.
Yeah, he's dead. So the author.
Typical, man. You do a bad job and you die, so you don't have to be responsible for it.
Yeah, that seems to be a running theme. Write something and die.
Starting to sound a lot like people falling out of
I'm free from all
windows in Russia.
consequences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, but your authorization would definitely supersede this local official. Like you're in trust from the High Lord, Val, within Erith, to pursue this investigation. Would the only person that could potentially affront you would be the Justiciar, the overseer Justiciar, who would run this branch of the Brass Shields and run all of the Brass Shields within Rakmir.
Okay. I will make a note to have him demoted post-mortem.
I mean, thinking about that, I mean, the smuggler's name is there, Slate Gaglios. There is his address there, so you know his address. His wife is mentioned as well, and his wife.
They made him do like hard labor, right?
6 years, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's 6 years since then, so.
Yeah, he's home. The robbery, did it take place at the? Where did it take place?
The stealing of the urns.
Yes.
The stealing of the urns took place in the actual complex of the underground crypts. That's where they were taken from.
That's a place where the waterfall or the fountain.
Yeah, underneath it all. So like that Sanctum of Ash is where people keep their urns, like all the buried dead. The silver urns are honorific and specially made to honor, fallen dead from an historical event, and they were taken from a I don't say hidden, but like a well guarded, a well respected, and it would have been deeper into the crypt system for like smugglers or thieves or whatever to get into there. So this wasn't just a simple, someone broke in and got it. And as we discussed the past session, those crypt like systems are people could get lost in there easily and never be found again. You have to train for years as an acolyte before you're entrusted to go in there by yourself. It's a serious risk going there. So.
Okay. It says honorific for specific event. If you don't have this, you won't have.
No, I do. It was to
what
honor
specific event?
It was to honor the dead of warriors who fought on the side of the Saint of Vela at Haliza's Gap, the Saint Haliza, which is, if you go to the map, you will see past the East Cairn Fort, Haliza's Gap as a geographical setting, and there were knights and warriors who fought there beside the saint at the time.
I'm on the I'm on a map, but I'm on the wrong.
Oh, you're not on Legend Keeper?
I am on Legend Keeper, but you have multiple maps of Erith.
So if you click on maps of all lands of Erith, the headline, like the first article.
I got map of Erith biomes, northern Erith.
At the very top.
The very top.
At the very top.
Oh, maps of all the. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you click that, and then you find Rakmir, you find East Cairn Fort, and you just see the little pin, just where above the RT, and that's where Haliza's Gap was. So it's basically the event. The silver urns are to honor like knights who have died in that battle. And they would have had their ashes, put in those urns to honor them as, pretty well renowned, either heroics on the day or in previous years, they would have been, yes, you would know this. They would be what's what I'm looking for? Consecrated knights. There would have been consecrated knights of the Silver Templars that would have been buried in those silver urns.
Is that something that like you get for being a consecrated knight, or is it like you've got to be special even among?
You've got to be special to have that honor. That's like someone who like that's like someone who leads a cavalry charge and wins the battle kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's not like everyone who died at that battle got one of these urns. It's like the commanders or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was the phrase used for the knights? They're like uplifted knights or something like that, or
consecrated.
Consecrated.
Yeah. So consecration is like within the Silver Templars, within the martial wing, there's like basically regulars, and there's consecrated, which is basically like full-blown knights. So when you get consecrated, which is either a generational thing or you get sponsored by an existing knight, think of the aristocracy, that's how you actually become a knight. So these would be like educated, well-drilled warriors from young adulthood or earn their way into that titles.
So these ones are, they have some sort of decoration on them that makes them unique as well.
Yeah, the urns definitely would be like personalized, made by the family, or perhaps would have been purchased by that Silver Templar order for to honor such an event.
Do I have a name of the knight
that's missing?
Whose urn is missing? Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no problem. His name is Doug Smithson.
I would have gone with Dimmadome, but okay.
Beth Weston.
Dimmadome Dimmadome? I mean, of Erith Dimmadome?
Yeah.
I like they just kept making his hat bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Right, so let me just... I'll just post it in D&D notes.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh shit, why did it do that? Oh, I see what it did there. Right, okay, give me 2 seconds. I've got so much fucking quest lists and notes in Legend Keeper. It's great, but it's also like, oh my god, where are things when I need them?
Is Thoric jealous of Hendrik's flowing locks? Is that what this is about?
I have scales.
I know.
I don't care.
I know you can't grow out like this fantastic hair.
On a scale of
I'm
1
sure
to
I
10.
could. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could buy the hair.
I'm really curious. So did he like shave his hair and then get a wig? Because that seems counterproductive.
All the cool kids do.
No.
And 500 years ago.
I will shave my head for you as a sign of my worship and a sign of my commitment, and then immediately like get a wig so no one ever knows it.
He just gets a. He just gets a.
No one will know I am a cop.
He just gets a beanie hat that has the symbol of Tyr on it.
Yeah.
To put
You
over
are
his
the
head.
most cop person ever, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, thank you.
Hendrik definitely smells like bacon. That's all I'm going to say.
There's the
Pajero?
Pajero.
I read Sir Nicholas and my brain immediately just finished with Cage.
Oh, that's fair.
A hero? Sometimes I
DM,
forget
I
you
would
can
like
speak
to
Spanish
petition
now.
to have it changed to Sir Nicholas Cage.
No, this is a
No,
serious
no,
game for serious people. Okay,
Okay,
let's get back to your
so
guy who's bald with a
Okay,
wig that he
yeah,
did
order this
voluntarily.
knight. Okay, so he was just a knight then, which I know sounds conductive, but there's much higher ranks in consecrated.
Is the J Spanish with the H sound?
Yeah, hey.
The hero.
Okay.
Order of the
Um,
Sacred Bastion.
Yeah.
I'm
So the
assuming
sick
Missing Knight was put in after the urn went, or no, wait, that
miss,
doesn't make any sense. That's when he
missing
died.
knight is like to clarify. This is who this knight is. This is the missing knight's urn. Nothing to do with his actual title.
Okay.
But yeah. So the Sacred Bastion actually. So the Sacred Bastion Order of the Templars wasn't really a thing until Heliza's Gap. But then it was founded after Heliza's Gap from the knights that formed up around the saint, and then they established Silver Templars.
Hmm.
So
His
Their
name
base of operations
translates to
is
birdwatcher.
Eastern.
yes. So he potentially could have been a knight of a guardian of the temple, a grandmaster of the order, but he didn't fucking survive to see the formation of his own order. So that's sad. He was posthumously added to the consecration of the order.
As this is going on, I'm getting angrier and angrier at the person who decided to fucking drop this case. Let's go
Mm,
talk to that person. Oh, and he's dead. Let's talk to his boss, who made him drop the case, apparently.
He's also dead.
Yeah, is he dead too?
no. I mean, if you want to speak to the overseer justiciar,
That sounds like a lot of. I don't want to do that shit.
That's a big word.
or I mean, or you could just choose to speak with the Hierophant of Tyr, go all the way to
To the
Sanctuary
top.
to the top.
Let's just speak with God, okay? Tyr, hello, can I talk to you, please?
Yeah, he's right. I'll just pray.
Yeah, that's a legit answer in this world.
Yeah.
I'll just pray. It might work.
We're so limited by our own perception of reality that we forget there is actual
what?
Yeah.
direct contact
You're
possible
goddamn right.
between God
Hey.
and us.
DM, is there a shrine of Tyr within this
You're
castle
fucking
of
in it.
Tyr?
You're
I
in
would
it.
like to
The
pray to my
entire ground.
goddamn God. I
And
want
what
to
do you
pray
pray to your God about?
if there are corrupted officials within his ranks that I must pursue or not.
Roll me a D100.
Woo!
We
I
are
add my
we are
charisma
doing
skills?
divine
Yeah.
intervention.
Divine
in this.
intervention for everyone.
Can I add my charisma because I'm so charming?
No, your likelihood of succeeding is your level. What level are you? 4?
Oh,
4.
Yep. We are
Well,
doing divine intervention in this.
in literally divine intervention. No.
Yeah.
If he rolled a 1, I would have howled with laughter.
Yeah. No,
Can I
you
use
don't.
my inspiration?
I mean, sure. If you want to roll
No.
again,
When do you have inspiration?
I gave it to him earlier.
Oh, okay.
I'm so charming.
No.
You pray to God as many times as you have, and you ask for clarification, and none comes.
You haven't filled in the necessary paperwork to get contact with them.
Yeah, it's suspicious, but it doesn't reek to the point of me wanting to make waves within the local police constabulary right now.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll bust some ass later.
But doesn't Tyr suggest that some knowledge should stay lost? Can't we just
Yeah,
give
that's
up?
also a good point. Maybe I don't pursue this one.
Well, how valuable would these silver urns be? Rough idea.
I mean,
an
melted
urn.
down
Well,
on the market. Yeah.
no, it's much more valuable now. It's a religious artifact. It's an heirloom. It's a token of sacrifice. It would have been, when I say urn, like I'm not making like a little urn you stick on a mantelpiece. I'm talking like something like a goblet, like the Champions League fucking cup, the Super Bowl cup, something that big.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's kind of like what we'd be given to people like this if they had an honorary urn. So it's pretty big, but don't think of the monetary worth of the silver. Think of the spiritual, the emotional weight of something like that going missing or being taken or being, in your possession.
But
So very valuable.
That's such an
Is this-
silly thing to steal for, though. Like, I'm going to steal this not for the value, but for the emotion. Well, insert emotional damage joke here, but doing it for that purpose is just such
Do it all the
an
time, right?
like you don't. That's not something a normal thief would do.
What's the we're trying to we're basically we're thinking what's the motive, because you can't sell it. It's too discernible, you
Distinct.
know. Yeah, it has value potentially to someone as a collector, but like, were they going to buy it off the black market?
Trying to
Is
determine a
this an
motive.
investigation that we are openly talking? Like, we have accompanied Hendrik, and he is looking through the papers, and we're all.
Let's here. Give me a second. Okay, DM.
That's
I would like
amazing.
to take my notes on the case study, put
Uh-huh.
the thing away where it was found, and I'll
Yeah.
go out to the lobby and just say to the people following me, Learnok, Thoric, Torque, etc. Okay, let's go. We're gonna go talk to the people where the crime took place, and I will. We can talk and have a full discussion on the case as we go, as we're
Perfect.
walking in the streets.
Okay. Do
Okay.
you want me to send what I sent you to them, to the chat?
Yeah, that'd be very helpful, actually.
As
Okay.
as a
I can post
cleric,
it. I already have it.
Yes.
and a holy practitioner, is there anything that pops into my head about the use of specific remains, the holy remains like that? What, like, if they would be useful in casting something and talking to something, accessing something, that means that the remains themselves are actually the thing they wanted, rather than the ability to sell them. They're the ability to use them, for an emotional
Oh,
value or anything like that.
There, I've
there
got
we go.
D&D notes.
No problem. Make a religion check with disadvantage, please.
Okay, well, I'm going to use my inspiration to get that straight roll,
Nice one.
because
Can
this is
I give him
important to my
guidance?
companions.
You could give him guidance, sure.
I'd like to give him guidance. I'm
Cool.
happy when people start using their brain around me. Gives me hope.
Yeah, roll a d4 for guidance, I think. Oh, 20. Right, okay. How do we get into this? Right, so in your society, right, in this society, the dead are burned and placed within urns as ash. This is one, to disconnect the soul from the body so that the soul can ascend to heaven. Two, to destroy the body so that it cannot be used for any nefarious means. It can't. This civilization has problems with necromancy and other foul magics, so they remove the process of actual bodies existing from that actually happening. That was something that was very early within this cultural society that they did within the Church of Vela. Now, your question was asking about what could someone use that for? What could someone use his remains for? This is why you roll a disadvantage, because you don't tend to entertain these thoughts. You don't tend to think that these is legitimate. But you've been in a bar one night in Charthon and heard some scholar talking about how people might be able to use ashes to either commune with the dead or get some meaning out of having the remains of them, which is again why the remains of people, of your loved ones, are given to the Velen Church to have. So it's a very if your grandmother died and you kept her body in like your back garden and buried her, that would be like a very like taboo thing to do. It's like, no, she should have had a proper burial, she should have been burned. And then if she did burn and you went to the pyre and like fished out like a bone or a tooth, that could be seen as like you're not respecting her passing, you're not respecting her remains. So that's a very taboo thing. Again, that's illegal as well. So to disrupt this, disrupt the process of burial, especially to damage the ashes, because once the ashes are collected, that's like a religious ceremony doing that. So to change that or pour them out or destroy them or desecrate them, that's sacrilege and blasphemy. But you got ruled of 20, so you can ask me a couple questions. Or yeah, you have a dirty 20.
Yeah, I think like okay. So communing with them might be possible through their ashes.
You've heard someone talk about that once before, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's no. Okay. This might be another role, to be fair, but the Eliza's Gap was in 1018.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, a lot, like 400, 500 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 600.
Have I ever? I don't think I would. There wouldn't be any reason for it. Like, there's nothing.
You're an educated man. Don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, maybe. But like, I think he would have been more interested in East Cairn Fort for its actual like construction than he would have been for Heliza's Gap. But is there
Yeah.
any from studying East Cairn Fort and trying to, and taking into account like that Torkel would have looked at all of the creations throughout Erith from at least from some point of view. Is there anything that I can remember about Heliza's Gap that was odd or mysterious, or there was anything left, like, oh, they turned back the marching army, but they don't know what happened to X or Y or anything like that?
So the saint of Heliza, when she defeated the Umbra Lord, this enemy, this great enemy there, um, you would know that from her success and victory, from her religious prayers and battlefield, she produced a flame of heavenly light, of flame, which fills the gap miles long from one mountain range of hills to the other. So there is an eternally flaming wall of heavenly fire on earth, which protects that gap now and rears its head when creatures approach, creatures of ill intent. Mhm.
I'm not connecting. Yeah, okay. I think yeah. Torkel's just considering, still working through the idea of why would they want all the other 8 were found. So what
Yes,
is,
they were found in possession of that man's slate. Yes.
unless there's not actually any. Yeah, I don't know. Unless there wasn't actually any ashes in that one, or it was unique in some way.
Mm.
Oh well. Yeah, he's just pondering now. I think that's probably as much as it will get.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. So you
The report
you
never said anything about who he was selling it to, did it?
he said he had no information. He didn't even know he had the urns. He said he didn't put them there. They shouldn't have been on his wagon.
Oh shit! How did I miss that part? Okay.
Well,
What the
I said
hell?
earlier, he proclaims innocence. He said he had nothing to do with it, but he was
Yeah,
known as a local smuggler. People
as soon
knew
as
that
you
he could
said he
get
proclaimed
things.
innocence, I immediately zoned out.
Because
Oh,
that's what
thank
everyone
you.
does.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Nobody's innocent in the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, well that is interesting.
Does it mention question for normal interrogations? Again, like Zone of Truth is a spell we probably have access to quite
Yeah.
Yes.
handily. Is was he questioned under that, or would he be, or is it something that's only brought out sometimes?
Interrogation lasted 6 hours and he was convicted.
That's all we know. Okay.
Mhm.
It looks weird though.
You could have someone on trial for
Yeah.
murder, and the trial could last 3 weeks or a month to get all the answers, to get all the eyewitnesses.
He
So
might not be asking the correct questions.
Mm.
Alternatively, they had an answer already, and they just needed the questioning to fit.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, this reeks, doesn't it? I think that's why Henrik reached out to all of you, because you have no association with the Brass Shields whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh,
association.
Stody, are you still there?
Yeah.
Stody, you
Choking
still
a
there?
bit, yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could, as I said. So there's the High Overseer Justiciar, who likes in charge of the Brass Shields, and then the current bureaucrat of this order, who would replace the judge who died, would be Juratas Angela Matos. So you could speak to them if you wanted. That would be that's now the person you follow and got that post. I just need to message to tell you something. 2 seconds.
Is it Juratas Angelos something?
Angela Matos, yeah. That's the current person who is filling the post of the person who deceased, who prosecuted the case. What is this? Sorry, I think I missed this.
I thought Ryan was like Denzel Washington in Training Day, but it actually seems like Ryan's going to end up being like Serpico.
Who's Serpico?
You've never seen Serpico?
No.
Wow.
Educate me. Don't judge me.
I'm going to judge you. Serpico is a film
You
with.
fucker! You're pulling out a 1973 like.
Yeah, it's one of the
How
most
could you
famous cop
not have
films.
seen that, Ryan?
It's one of the most famous cop films of all time. It's literally a whole episode of It's Always Sunny is based on Serpico. It's a really
Honestly.
big cultural thing.
I mean, I have it on
Within pop
favorites,
culture.
but like, you haven't watched this, Ryan?
Unreal. Unbelievable.
You
Um,
fuckers. Well, I'll watch it tonight.
I'm forgetting his name now. What's his name?
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino. That's the one. Good film.
I'll check it out.
You've seen Training Day, but you've not seen Serpico.
Yeah, keep judging.
You've probably seen fucking Police Academy and not seen Serpico.
Hey Sean, I've
Yes.
never seen Training Day.
You've never seen Training?
I
What do you do
don't
with your spare time?
think Denzel Washington's a good actor.
What?
Yeah.
You don't like him, and like he's not your cup of tea, or you actually don't think he's a good actor?
I don't. He's really good in one role.
I only know him from Equalizer, I'll be honest.
But like, there's movies he's in that I really like, but like, he doesn't add much to the film. I don't think.
To Training Day, he's the main character. Oh, you've not seen Training Day. Sorry, never mind.
What's the bank robbing one where he's like the negotiator?
Taking a Peloton, 1, 2, 3.
What?
These are awful films.
I don't think Denzel Washington's a good actor.
I know the bank one you're thinking of.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
bank
remember
one's
name,
great
but-
because of the writing and the directing. I like that movie a lot. Denzel Washington, yeah, I just.
Anyway,
Man on Fire is
getting-
probably. Sorry, yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, I was just trying to find still some information there. Yes, so you want to head to
The mausoleum.
Fountain of Ash.
Yeah, Saint Bash.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go there.
Mausoleum.
Okay.
Oh, actually, before we do DM, can I make a slight detour?
Yes.
I would like to buy a ball of yarn from a shop. A very big ball of yarn.
Sure.
I'm gonna do them.
Sure.
You said maze, so I'm gonna fucking get the counter to a maze, which is a line.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're on the Day of Friends, which is, it is the weekend. Not all businesses are open, but sure, you can find a ball of yarn store that's just about open, like just open for like 2 hours today, and you managed to get in there before it closes for the religious holiday.
Several 100 meters of yarn.
Thoric is
how much-
looking. Gone.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, genuinely, how much meters of yarn are you buying?
100 meters of yarn.
Okay. Mark off. Do you have any silver pieces? Just mark off a silver
Can
piece.
someone lend me a silver?
I have no silver pieces.
We only have
Just
four
split
wheels
a
power.
gold. Just split a gold.
I don't have any money.
How do you not?
Wait,
you
how do you have no
gold?
money?
Guys, he's on a cop's salary.
I think I messed up the character. I've been mooching off you guys the entire time.
Because you didn't use the character mancer like I told you to, and you did it yourself.
I will give him 1 gold piece.
Hey, I can't use the character mancer because my subclass is not in character mancer.
I use the
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I use the character mancer. I have a subclass that's not in it. It's only the subclass stuff that I had to put in manually.
Yeah, I use the character mancer with the subclasses, not in the character mancer.
More judgment.
Yeah, and Sean's been
I
having
just didn't use character mancer.
the whole time.
Am I just
Random starting gold. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So you spend a silver piece, and you get 9 silver pieces back because you split a gold.
So, okay, I start with 75 gold. I'll take that. Okay.
Start what? You don't start with 75 gold pieces.
I start
thought
with
that's what
15.
the character...
Yeah, I started with 15.
I started with
Oh,
5.
it's random starting gold. Okay, 15. I'll go with 15. I'll look up later.
Yeah. I'll give you 15 gold pieces.
Okay.
Okay, that was good. Thank you.
You could just sell that medallion you've got. I'm sure that'll go for some money.
Okay.
I'd probably go for 25 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so yeah, just mark yourself off. Mark off 14 gold, 9 silver pieces. Done. You've got your 100 meters of yarn.
Roger.
Whatever.
Thank you
So
very much.
you're heading to
Okay.
Sanctum of Ash. So as I described, it's next to the field. It's next to Memorial Field. Quite nice morning comparatively in that the fog is like burned off now. Most of it's gone. Still sitting a bit higher on the outskirts of town in the like hillsides, the sloping kind of rocky slopes around from Rackmere. And the front doors of the Sanctum of Ash are open, as they tend to be nearly all days, all holidays, even the weekends. So yeah, this is a pretty busy day. Same with yesterday, but you were busy with the funeral. The day of family and day of friends tends to be when a lot of people tend to visit their urns, visit their loved ones, their friends who are now gone today. Have been family yesterday, and the front door's open. And I guess, do you just want to go and seek out you never met him last time, Ryan, your character, but
Yeah.
the other two characters did meet the Ashkeeper of this sanctum. So yeah.
Yes, I will go and meet the head Ashkeeper of the Sanctum. I'll try and look around, and do I see him anywhere in the lobby? Is he interacting with these people that are apparently here?
Yeah, I think at the moment he's discussing something with one acolyte and looks like the 3v3 commoners in one in a blue shirt, the other two women in yellow and orange dresses, covered up modestly, and seem to be discussing, like rights and access, and him giving passage to them to head into the crypt system, and the acolyte takes a large torch and looks ready to light it as they start to go down a corridor away from you. And he sees you approaching and just waits expectantly to say hello.
Hello, sir. I am
Hello.
here on business of Tyr on a official investigation. No one's in trouble or anything. I'm just trying to follow up on some information.
Oh,
This is in regards to the 9 urns, 8 of which were found, 1 of which was not. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
yes, yes. And you see the man, he's got very white, veiny skin. He wears the black simple robes of Vela. He's got this big headdress on him, which is like ever smoking incense around him, about 6 feet tall, lean build. And yeah, he nods and says, yes, I am familiar with the case. I was Ashkeeper then, when the urns were stolen, and we had a great deal of investigation from Tyr and the brass shields when they went missing. Just glad
I imagine
that
so.
we were able to recover most of the artifacts.
Well, I'm here to try and recover all of the artifacts.
That is good to hear. I'm very pleased to hear that Tyr's subjects and followers still have such an interest in what we as Vela, some would consider a simple role.
Insight
Something.
check.
I would like to cast an enhance ability.
Uh-huh.
Wait, hold on. Well, let me make sure this makes sense. It'd be insight, a wisdom saving throw, enhance ability, wisdom.
You're trying to give yourself advantage or give him disadvantage?
Yes, give myself advantage.
Okay.
Yes, advantage on wisdom. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use one of my I'm gonna
Subtle
do
spells?
a subtle spell. So I'm gonna use that up as well. For wisdom, and I'm going to do insight. Just
Are we with Hextech at this point?
Yeah, I'd
Yeah, you're
imagine
staying
he's
right
walking
behind
up
me.
here.
Can I also
Yeah.
insight check? Because I
Yep.
think it's an inside job.
Sure. Yeah. Make an insight check.
Insight at
Oh
advantage.
fuck.
Yeah. I mean, he seems just as respectful, just as well put together as you saw him the other day.
Yeah.
15.
I like this
This
guy.
is an experienced priest who, even despite the presence of men in full armor and weaponry, is not intimidated at all. He just sees you as functionaries of other gods and other duties, and he's being very respectful to you guys.
Okay.
And he seems genuinely surprised that you guys that another follower's tears came to investigate such an old mystery that he probably thinks was long forgotten about. You get the sense of a little bit of surprise on his face because of that.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Sorry, I just want to point out, there might be actually a little bit just to steps back a little bit, entirely because he doesn't want it to come across as imposing or anything like that. So he is just sort of probably off to the side. But he's letting them do their thing because I'm gonna be honest, he's kind of here at the moment, going with the flow because he's just here to help people. But at the moment, he's like he's not involved in this, and he wants to make sure this priest doesn't sound too uncomfortable. He wants to make sure the priest isn't too uncomfortable because, as you said, a bunch of people in heavy armor could come across threatening, even if they're not intending to. So he's just very much aware of that.
Yeah. So Ashkeeper Marsanio, Mr. Dias, gives you like a gazing look towards yourself, Hendrik, and kind of breathes a sigh of relief. Like, I truly thought that the investigation was done. I was, forgive me, but I had stopped holding out hope that someone would recover such a sacred idol of our past sacrifices from such a great bunch of heroes who helped defend this town long, long ago.
Well, I am from Erith, and it is my position to follow up on these cases, even if they're a decade old, or sometimes more. Would you be able to? Oh, sorry, I did not introduce myself. My name is Hendrik. Well, there you go.
Nice to meet you, Sir Hendrik.
Yeah, for Sir Hendrik from Erith, out of town. If you could guide us to the location of the urns, I imagine you have the other 8 urns here somewhere. Still?
Correct. Once we found them with the man who was responsible for them going missing, we returned them to their rightful place of resting. You'll forgive me. It's just a formality. May I see your sign of
Yeah.
approval within the tier church?
Absolutely. Yeah, pull it out.
Yeah. Sees the necklace and gives a nod, and does this kind of look up in the corner.
I think my stone would be in the symbol of tier, wouldn't? Yeah. Would that be a thing?
Yeah, well, you'd have your pendant, like your necklace thing. Your identity stone is different again, 'cause that's something you had given at birth before you even knew about tier. Unless you wanted to have it professionally refitted to look like the symbol of tier, which could cost you a lot of money.
I'll do it. No.
Okay,
That might
no
be
problem.
that
Yeah.
might be defacing a holy symbol.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
want.
So he says, yes, I can show you where they rest. I must say it is genuinely exciting, and I must pass our thanks on to whatever superior sent you our way to have such investigation resume. The acolytes will be thrilled. I know some of them still harbor deep resentment for the failures of the brass shields to find the last urn.
I am happy to do my part. Since sorry, I'm trying to figure out. Once he starts like leading us to the room,
Yeah, he just starts to
I'd
lead.
like
Yeah.
to, yeah. Since the investigation almost a decade ago, have you found any other new information since then? Any other
No,
suspicious disappearances or robberies or something?
no. It started with the beatings, obviously. I'm sure you heard about that with our acolytes a week before. A few of our
The
men were assaulted in the
Oh,
dark.
yes. Were those attacks down here?
No, they were in the streets above. They were on their way home from duties or out getting supplies. We were, I guess your people weren't able to explain why they happened. Um, I'm not sure why, but anyway,
These attacks, were they just beatings or was it an attempt on their life?
they were beaten severely, but uh, the priests of Arias that healed the men, they did not assume that the intent was to kill them. It was more or less to, I guess, stoke fear. When they first started, we started to be more precautious and started to go in groups on the way homes when people were returning. I live within the sanctum, you see, and so do many other acolytes, but some still maintain family homes with their loved ones in various parts of town. So we instituted a protection. But only a few days later, the urns were stolen, and then it was chaos for our people for a time. And then a few days later, we found 8, and one was still the last one missing. The shields and the overseer deemed it a success. She said that 8 was better than none, but we still harbored desire to retrieve the last one. Desire that we never felt that was truly appreciated. I've prayed to Vela many, many times to give me some guidance, some sign, some idea of where we could continue looking, but none has ever found its way to my thoughts and my prayers.
And Hendrik just nods at this and follows along.
What's the Ashkeeper's name?
Marcinio Dias. I will post it in
Dias.
DS.
And he is an Ashkeeper, yeah.
Yes, he is the Ashkeeper. He's the one that presided over the funeral
Yeah,
of.
no,
Yeah.
I remember. Over Nathaniel's funeral.
Yes.
Because we
Yeah.
spoke to him beforehand, didn't we?
And he's the one who gave you the items of Nathaniel. Yes.
Yeah, Ashkeeper Dias. The beatings that occurred before the theft, did your colleagues report having anything removed from their person or any kind of magic or spells that may have been used upon them?
No, the Shields interviewed all of the victims very closely. Most of the men that were beat still work here today, men and women. It is forbidden to leave the Sanctum's grounds with anything that could access the crypts underneath. We take great care in that only those that want to visit the crypts beneath are done with supervision, and that they're always locked. And we have even stepped up our precautions and changed many, many ways of access and installed new portcullises and gate rails and all these things since the event to prevent another robbery from happening.
And your understanding of the maze down here, it is something that you study, or do you carry maps?
I cannot yield the secrets of Valen ministry and acolyte teaching to some outside of the order, but rest assured that where I'm going to show you, I will be able to find my way back, and many of the acolytes can as well. But keep up and keep in the torchlight. Do not stray further from eye when we start to head down. And it's this point when you've been walking like quite, a bit of a distance to the church, and you start to go down some stairs. And they're quite wide. They're about 20 feet wide. Start to head down the stairs, and then you don't pass your dark vision and past the torchlight. You just hear tuk, 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 of like something really heavy and like proper start to lift. And you come down about 20 steps from the bottom of the stairs, and you see a huge 40-foot wide door start to slowly open, and just darkness ahead of you. And from the faint torchlight that starts to creep past the actual entrance of this massive gate opening upwards into the frame of the ceiling above, you can see the little etchings of light and of nameplates on huge great shelves that are about 20 feet tall on either side. And there are hundreds of urns stacked on top of each other, piled like just a hoarder's mess of just piled urns on these huge stacks. And the corridor is about 10 foot wide, and then the shelves go 20 feet straight up, and you see like some ladder stacked down, something like that. And Marcinio looks to the group of you and says, well, I've had sent for the gate to be opened. Shall we go inside and you can see the urns for yourself?
Lead the way.
Thank you. Again, keep your wits about you. And if you get separated, stay where you are. I'm sure I can send someone to find you. We will find you ourselves. And keep quiet. You must be respectful of the dead.
So the corridor is basically walled with the shelves of urns,
Yes.
and there's no looking at the shelves or the urns that are within Taco's dark light, dark vision. Is there any indication, inscription, or anything like that on the shelving itself, or potentially on the way that the urns are
Arranged?
structured? Yeah, that would
Yeah,
suggest
they're
that
by
these are like
years.
arrows.
Right, okay.
There's names, but you don't see any visible directions. But you can make a perception check with disadvantage if you want, as you start to walk through it.
Sure, I'll try.
And as you start to walk through,
Nah.
9. As you start to walk through, now your disadvantage because dark vision just goes great. Yeah. Anyway, you go through. You maybe go about 40 feet, and then it becomes it opens up left and right to another hallway. Again, 20 foot high, urns on either side, and it's stacked. Like you almost get the feeling that if you know, the slightest knock or fall could send dozens and dozens of urns falling off the shelves onto the ground, shattering. So you're moving very carefully and very cautiously. You're moving at a slow pace with your heavy armor, and the clinking and clattering of your plate mail and your armors and sprinkling of your holy artifacts does echo quite loud. And Mercenio seems very relaxed, pretty respectful guide. And he says to Hendrik, "Have you ever been down in the Sanctum's crypts before?"
Yes. I have before. It's been a while.
We find less and less people showing up to some of them. I think that it's something to do with people not wanting to remember the worst of their loved ones. I am trying to improve relations with people visiting family members, but I suppose culture changes and traditions do as well. I always found it relaxing as a boy to come visit my past relatives in their urns. Just keeps walking, and then
Hey,
you go past. Yeah, go ahead.
DM, how did he open that stone door from before?
It just started to open as you guys got closer. You started clicking open.
Interesting. He didn't press like a lever or like a
You
pressure
didn't
pad
see
or
him
anything.
you didn't see him do anything like that. Step in a pressure pad, pull a lever down. He just had to walk towards this hallway and it opened for him.
He said he called for it to be opened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it's like a key card thing. Do I have anything that I can use?
Yeah, it's like Doom. He's got the blue key card. You need to find the red key card and the yellow key
You
card.
know, I was gonna make a Doom reference and then thought, nah, I'll leave it.
I'll just ask him. Is there some sort of magical device or key that you have on you that is opening these doors?
Oh no, the acolytes watch and they're able to understand, hear our conversations. The acolytes travel the sanctum well and they're familiar with my duties. So when it became apparent you wanted to see the urns, I'm sure they just filled in the gaps.
So it's controlled from up top?
It would be, yes. There are operating systems and it's a pretty heavy gate. We had it reinforced, as I said, after the theft. So we've it tended to be a lot more open, and we worried that because of its ease of access, that if a few strong men came in, they could attempt the same thing again. So we changed the layout slightly. We brought in some Kinos developers and architects to redesign our security measures.
This was after the
Yes, after.
burglary.
Yes, it was not always like this. No. I sometimes I think that we should go back, but what's done is done. The work has been spent.
Does that mean that in the original theft the door was forced open?
In the original theft, it is difficult to gauge a picture. The man that was on gate watch that day, he sustained traumatic injuries to his head. He has never truly recovered, even despite the best efforts from the priests of Arias. His mind is shattered, his memory vacated. Uh, we're unaware of exactly how they got in, but we theorize that they came down under the pretenses to visit a past loved one, and somehow they managed to find their ways to the sacred urns, the silver urns. Everything is sacred here, I should say. And you guys keep walking, and you've passed maybe 5 or 6 different intersections, and you haven't taken a left or a right turn yet. But as far as like the left and rights, when you go down, you can see 20 feet with bright light, 20 feet with dim light, and then your dark vision goes past just barely, and then you just see corridor. And then Marcinio takes a right, and then you keep walking, and then you go another, section, and then you go down this a section of stairs, like a stairwell going down, which is just stone on the other side. Then you come into another open bit. If you ever play Bloodborne, think of like the Bloodstone Crypts. Think of like that, but heading down, but very confined in shelvings of ruins and urns. And you start to head down and follow and follow and follow. And yeah, it's pretty disorientating. And you're getting further and further underground. And Marcinio says to Torkel, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. How did you find Nathaniel's home and diary? I hope you got some sense out of it. It was all building speak for me.
Insight check.
Yeah, I can set check.
Don't like this guy, but he seems very nice. I don't understand.
Maybe you don't like nice people.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
He just seems genuinely curious
Really?
to what your whereabouts have been.
I just look at the things about to be good at and bad at it. It's annoying me. He's not going to tell him the full.
No, God, no. Why would you do that?
But yeah, he's going to die.
He was a criminal.
Yes, it was full of the information about certain different items. I'm sure it can be used in conjunction with his pension to hopefully aid me in my goals.
That is good to hear. I'm glad that some good curve came of his passing. It's so sad when someone doesn't have family members to pass on their lineage to.
Yes, this is true. I will keep his memory with me. The body was provided to you and the church to go through the normal rituals.
Yes, yes. I believe a street goer passed by one of the windows and noticed the smell, and then they called the brass shields. Then Priest of Arias attended, and then finally we were brought in once Nathaniel was confirmed to have passed.
Unfortunate.
Very sad to go alone like that. But anyway, we are closing in on where the urns are kept. Again, stick close. This section of the crypt is older, tighter. Don't linger anywhere. Don't. It seems there's a little bit of a change in him, and he looks very cautiously towards Hendrik and you as well, Torkel, and says towards the group a bit loudly, "If you hear things, ignore them. Keep walking." And then he turns his back and then keeps going forward.
Okay, well,
Uh,
when he says that,
Yeah.
do we hear anything?
Marciano, vagaries may be appropriate with certain people, but when it is someone investigating mysterious goings on within this mausoleum, I am afraid that you're going to have to be a bit more direct with me.
Oh, very well. When sanctums are built and crypts are constructed, the church broadcasts rituals and protection rites within the crypts themselves. And when the theft took place, we have taken even more precautions than before. We released a subset of creatures in here so that if someone were down here without the right permissions or the right instruction of how to navigate, then they would take care of them.
You have to be more specific than that. Which creatures did you release down here?
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
That's
Intimidation.
intimidation.
Oh.
That is not 20. How did you mix those two up? They're not even beside each other. Anyway.
Because he said persuasion, and I was like, I think it's more like intimidation. So I had my mouse over the intimidation, and I was like, I just clicked it.
That's pretty good. That is.
I have no proficiency in either of them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, he seems a bit taken back by your abruptness. Oh,
My bluntness.
it's nothing too dangerous. Have you? Well, it's quite a rare creature, we're told, but they quite like these locations. From what the acolytes of the Charthorn Academy, who provided the specimens when I sought out help for such a security measure, um, I think the term that they're referred to as is a cube, a gelatinous cube.
Hmm. Jelly?
They are
Okay.
they are known to patrol and wander, and our acolytes are taught how to spot the creatures. They almost, if you're not careful and you're running through here, such as a thief would be, or moving quickly, you can mistake their visage and their reflection as a simple hallway, and you could walk straight into them, thus expiring yourself. Um, the creatures also do very well at cleaning up rat waste and other little vermin that get down into the crypts. So it has been a very beneficial adage. I've written many reports to other sanctums to see if they'd be interested, but they are yet to see the long-term effects of having such creatures within their uh, sanctums. So just if you see shimmering lights, reflections, almost like a glassy sheen, artifacts within the lights, move away. It is one of our cubes.
Okay.
You can outrun them. Just don't get cornered by them.
Thank you for the warning then.
Of course, I want the best for you.
Mm.
Okay, right. And with that, you're still walking, and you head to the first part of the sanctum that you saw that is open. That is not just a hallway. It opens up to about a 15-foot radius circular area, and you see the ceiling goes 20 foot up again, and instead of shelves in a circular motion that are lined and lined and lined and piled high, it is 30 or so silver urns meticulously placed, spaced evenly and broadly around the circumference of the first level layer of shelves and the upper, and they are polished clean. They are shimmering silver in the reflection of your torchlight as you have now reached the site where the silver urns were taken from. The oval designs, the shelves, the stonework, cobwebs, various signs of it being actually, there would be very few cobwebs when recently dusted. So yeah, it doesn't look as decrepit, whereas in many of the shelves you passed have covered in cobwebs, very layered thick. There's probably some poor acolyte whose job is to go around every couple weeks and go in and dust these and every other shelf. So, and now that you find yourselves here in the presence of the silver urns with Marcinio Dias, warned about the gelatinous cubes, we will end the session there.
Okay, that's good.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. Hope you guys had fun.
Very
Again,
much.
apologies for
Yes.
apologies for not playing so much on Sunday, but I got to play D&D on my birthday, which is pretty fun.
Always the best.
Yeah, you can end the recording now.